Chapter 106. As soon as Bairuo left, the atmosphere at the dinner table suddenly became very harmonious. Xiang Yu's slender white fingers rubbed Xiao Naofu's round belly as he secretly glanced at Xiangyi. Sensing his gaze, Xiangyi blinked and asked, "What's wrong, big bro?" "Ow! Did you hear that? Little sis calls me big bro so sweetly." He pretended to be cold and arrogant like a big boss. "Go, get big bro a bowl of rice." If this had happened in the Xiang family in the past, if he dared to order Xiangyi around like this, the family's sister-spoiling demons would have broken his legs. But today's Xiang Yu was Nianhilu Xiang Yu. 2 words inflated. Xiangyi smiled, indulging his childishness and willfulness as she obediently went to get him a bowl of egg-fried rice. Xiang Yu couldn't suppress the corners of his mouth. After tasting a mouthful of egg-fried rice, his eyes lit up and he instantly buried his face in it. He especially liked to eat rice. Xiangyi's egg-fried rice was soft and chewy. In addition to egg, she also added shrimp, ham, and peas. Not only was it rich in color, but it also had a rich texture. The live comments, "Smog is so childish, haha, but I think he's so cute. Sameo go, a heartless eating machine. Did anyone notice that the little vase has never served Shurindi a bowl of rice?" Now that you mention it, it's true. Shurindi has always served himself. What's with the vase fairy's attitude? Did you guys forget the hot post about the little vase snubbing Shurindi? SSJJ, Shursway's sister, short for Shursway's fans, are still being stubborn, but it's obvious that your Shurindi took the initiative to stick close to the little vase. Even if the little vase wasn't cold to him, she was still very polite and distant. Okay? The netizens each brought their own magnifying glasses, and some even seemed to have brought a microscope. Soon, a post on the well-known gossip forum, Melon, went viral. Title: "Every day, I find candy in the glass shards of the untimely CP CAC." Main post content: "Greetings, Melon friends." I'm the OP of the previous post, taking stock of the famous scenes where Shurindi was neglected. After watching the live broadcast of 2 Under One Roof for 2 days, she had replayed countless clips of Shurindi and Sister E in the same frame. To be honest, the two of them were too evasive. They were so polite that it was as if they were in an etiquette class. They were constantly saying thank you for your hard work. Sister E had been calling Shurindi Sr. up until now. The more polite she was, the more it meant that there wasn't much progress in their relationship. It was even possible that they were just being polite on the surface for participating in the show. But the sugar in the glass shards was really sweet. Sister E gave Shurindi a little flower. Shurindi put on glasses for Sister. The scene of the two of them cooking together in the kitchen, living a peaceful life. There was also Sister E on the swing. His gentle gaze beside her could make me kowtow 100 times. I recommend watching it repeatedly. Just now, for Sister E, he tore the little white flower apart. Okay, it's an exaggeration to say that he tore it apart, but he did speak up for Sister E. I don't care. I'm just protecting Sister E. As a CP fan, I don't ask for anything else. I just want Sister E and Shurindi to be a little bit better. Online beautiful. JPG. As soon as the post was posted, it attracted the dissatisfaction of Shursue's sisters. OP, have you watched too many idol dramas? What's wrong with a lovey-dovey person like you? Haha, the OP might as well say that Shursui is licking the vase fairy's boots. You must have received a lot of PR fees, right? He's hopeless. Take him away. Next, I'll say it again, it's impossible between Shursui and the vase fairy. Chapter 107. At the same time, another OP had also posted a post. Title: "I'm shocked. When I was writing a paper, I found an SEI paper by a certain female celebrity. The main post: OP is a graduate student in agriculture, majoring in resource utilization and plant protection. Recently, I've been going bald over my thesis every day. This afternoon, I found an amazing article. Firstly, it's really well written, and secondly, it has great reference value for my thesis. At that time, my roommate happened to be watching 2 Under One Roof to relieve stress and overheard Xiangyi's speech about how agriculture is the foundation of the country and agriculture is the priority. At that time, I thought that the celebrities in the entertainment industry were quite good. Then, I accidentally saw that the name of the paper was also Xiangyi. At that time, I thought that it might be someone else with the same name. Then, I looked at the school, which was one of the top 2 universities in the country. Out of curiosity, I couldn't help but check it out. Now, the case has finally been solved. That's right, the paper was really written by that female celebrity. Xiangyi. I also found the topics she worked on during her undergraduate studies. How should I put it? She's at a level that I can't reach. Perhaps many people don't know much about SCI papers, but I'll give you the most common example. Publishing an article is no less significant than winning a gold medal in an international sports competition. The OP is in a trance now. Female celebrities in the entertainment industry are so amazing these days. I feel like I don't deserve to be in the scientific research field anymore. Underscore, smiley face, angle. Underscore, the first few dozen replies to the post were all question marks. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that Vase Fairy can publish an SCI paper? I'm dying of laughter. You're just bragging, aren't you? If you're so amazing, why did you enter the entertainment industry? The OP didn't debate with the netizens. Instead, he posted a link to the paper. The netizens opened the link to see that it was an all-English website. The terminology used in the article was very professional, but the name of the paper, it was really Xiangyi. The Melon forum was in an uproar, and countless posts popped up like mushrooms after a rain. The sensation level was even greater than that of a certain popular male idol's official relationship announcement not long ago. At the Xiang family's manor, the live broadcast was still ongoing. When they were almost done eating, Xiangyi got up and was about to wash the dishes when she heard a yell from the ground. "Put it down." The girl shuddered in shock. "Ahem." Xiangyu cleared his throat uncomfortably. "Sit here obediently. We don't have the rule of letting girls do the dishes." Xiangyi's heart slightly moved. She vaguely felt that her brother's attitude towards her had changed. Was he finally willing to accept her again? The girl stared at Xiangyu in a daze, her eyes hazy with a trace of moisture. She was not a weak person. On the contrary, when she was about to cross worlds to complete her mission, she was very strong and determined. But perhaps everyone had a soft spot in their hearts. That was a person's weak spot and also a person's reverse scale. Family was Xiangyi's biggest weakness. Because she had been treated with gentleness and love, she was able to persevere through countless times of despair. She moved her face away and said in a nasal voice, "Brother, you're so nice." Xiangyu was overjoyed by the compliment and whistled as he went to wash the dishes. The trolls appeared again. "I can't stand it. The Vase Fairy is so lazy. There are so many bowls, and you're letting your brother do it alone? Can an esports player do something as menial as washing the dishes? She's too delicate. Isn't it just washing a few bowls? What's wrong with girls doing more work? She doesn't know how to be considerate at all." Chapter 108. However, they had underestimated the number of Xiangyi's fans. As soon as these comments were posted, they were immediately rebutted. Some were irritable and angry. "Damn it. Who's been cooking for the past 2 days? Doesn't it take much effort to cook? You guys are the only ones with mouths. Get lost." Some yin-yang masters were infuriating. "It can't be helped. She just has her brother doting on her. What else can some people do other than be jealous?" There were also the largest number of foodie fans. "She cooks so well. Aren't you guys having fun watching her cooking as if it's a mukbang? You're the best at finding fault in everything you do, right?" The haters were dumbfounded. Since when did the Vase Fairy have so many fans? What was even more embarrassing was Xiangyu carried the bowls, chopsticks, and plates to the kitchen, then calmly and pretentiously, he put them into the dishwasher. The netizens were speechless. "Master, I'm enlightened. No wonder the production team didn't film the scene of the dishwashing. This is a face-slapping variety show, right? They specialize in slapping the haters. If you don't behave, I'll slap your face until it's swollen. Ha ha ha. I'm imagining the scene of the little vase washing the dishes like Cinderella. Sorry to disturb you. You're indeed a rich and beautiful lady. Hey, this dishwasher is not bad. Does anyone know what brand it is? It just so happens that my new house is renovating, and I'm about to install a dishwasher. On this day, the sales of a certain dishwasher brand's online store suddenly skyrocketed. When the owner received the news, he was still a little confused. His dishwasher was made in China. It was of good quality and durable. Unfortunately, there had been no market for it in the country, and its sales were basically monopolized by several large imported brands. He had also thought about doing advertising, but after asking around, he realized that even an internet celebrity's Weibo advertisement could cost a six-figure sum, not to mention TV commercials and agent fees for live streaming. Hence, the matter of advertising was put on hold. Fortunately, because of the good reputation of the product, he had accumulated some fans, and his online store's business was doing well. However, it was only doing well. However, today's sales were several times higher than last month's. After finding out the reason, the boss was moved and excited. He trembled as he typed on his phone for a long time. On his Weibo account, which only had less than 2,000 followers, he sent a thank you letter to Two Under One Roof and Xiangyi. Zijingjing Dishwasher. Thank you so much Two Under One Roof v. Xiangyi V's publicity. Although it's not easy to produce local products should be self-reliant. Although we really want to sponsor your program, we are unfortunately short on funds. We would like to express our gratitude to your program and Miss Xiangyi. On behalf of the Clean and Dishwasher Company, we would also like to donate 100,000 yuan to charity and bear the social responsibility that a company should have. It was a screenshot of a donation. Usually, no one would care about the Weibo posts made by this account. However, because of the keywords Two Under One Roof and Xiangyi, the number of views increased rapidly, and many netizens also reposted it. I just placed an order. I hope the quality won't disappoint me. The boss is so simple. Directly donating money is too practical. Haha, Xiangyi, this female celebrity is really amazing. On the first day of the live stream, she was selling clothes and hair clips, and now she's selling dishwasher products. Naive? In the past 2 days, Two Under One Roof has sold out like hotcakes in Taobao. There's also the takeout industry. Basically, whatever Sistery makes, the takeout products become popular. Feel the sales volume of our cold rabbit and poached fish slices. That netizen posted 2 pictures of the takeout platform. The sales volume of 999 plus was simply terrifying. Can Onwan have 99 plus comments? For all, good night. Chapter 109. In addition to the netizens who were shocked by Xiangyi's ability to promote goods, many brands also began to pay more or less attention to Xiangyi. That night, countless netizens were like squid in a melon field, jumping up and down to surf the internet. The next day, the sun rose from the east, and the morning light was faint. Li Jinyu got up early and was ready to go for a jog. Yesterday, Two Under One Roof ranked first among the variety shows in terms of viewership. Even though the fans of the various guests of Heartbeat were crazy, it was still difficult to reverse the decline. Previously, the senior executives of Muyao TV contacted him one after another to ask him to return. Li Jinyu rejected them all. The peach leaves are sharp and the willow leaves cover the sky. While humming a tune, he inadvertently saw Xiangyi in the garden. The girl was dressed in a pink and white sportswear and had no makeup on, but she was still as beautiful as ever. However, is she practicing Taiji Fist? Li Jinyu scratched his head and couldn't stop the question marks from popping out. I feel that teacher Xiangyi has health habits that don't match her age. The girl's movements were soft and casual, and there was an inexplicable light rhythm to her movements. Li Jinyu couldn't help but be fascinated by her. Directly, good morning. Xiangyi saw him and took the initiative to greet him. Good morning, teacher Xiangyi. Li Jinyu couldn't help but gossip. Are you practicing kung fu? Xiangyi smiled. I'm just exercising to strengthen my body. Li Jinyu let out a long, oh, thinking that it made sense. How could a young girl know kung fu? It was probably just a hobby. He stretched his muscles and ran around the manor. When he came back, he habitually glanced at Xiangyi, only to find that she's practicing swordsmanship. Li Jinyu almost fell flat on his face. His pupils were dilated. The fair and delicate girl was holding a quaint long sword. Her swordsmanship was similar to Taiji Fist, which had the characteristics of being both in form and spirit. It was also ethereal and elegant, with an emphasis on intent rather than gravity. With a light flick of her wrist, she made a beautiful sword move. The blade glowed with a cold light and made a buzzing sound. Li Jinyu was speechless. F***CK. If this isn't Kung Fu, then what is? Teacher Xiangyi, you F***king call this strengthening the body. Forgive me for being blunt, but if this sword of yours comes over, my entire body will be gone. Xiangyi sheathed her sword and breathed in and out. She found that not only had Li Jinyu stopped running, but he also had a dull look on his face. She tilted her head and asked, Director Li, I'm going to make breakfast. Is there anything you want to eat? Li Jinyu took 2 steps back. Teacher Xiangyi, you're too courteous. He was trembling, but he immediately regretted his words. He changed his words and said, No. Master Xiangyi, how could I trouble you with something as trivial as breakfast? I'll do it, I'll order takeout. I'll treat everyone to a meal. Xiangyi. You? Master? Director Li, are you all right? Damn, why are you calling him Director Li? You could just call me Xiao Li. Xiangyi's milky white face was filled with confusion. It was very confusing. Chapter 110. Director Li, have you been stimulated by something? Or are you sick? Why don't I take your pulse and make you some medicinal cuisine? The girl suggested in a gentle voice. She held the long sword in her other hand, scaring Li Jinyu into retreating frantically. Xiangyi realized something and explained, Don't be nervous. It's not sharpened yet. Whoosh! She pulled out the sword and wanted Li Jinyu to see it clearly, but the man was so scared that he screamed. He caught a glimpse of a figure from the corner of his eye and pounced on it without hesitation. Shi Sui, who had woken up early to train, calmly dodged the large human pendant that suddenly appeared. Good morning. He looked at Xiangyi and smiled. Good morning, Senior, Xiangyi said helplessly. Senior, please take a look for Director Li. My sword really isn't sharpened yet. Let me see. Shi Sui stepped forward casually. Daddy, sure. Li Jinyu watched as Shi Sui approached Xiangyi and picked up her long sword to examine it. It's quite heavy, he commented and brandished the sword casually. Li Jinyu. Why do you know it too? Xiangyi, huh? Senior, have you learned swordsmanship before? I learned a little when I was filming. Shi Sui's tone was gentle. She glanced at Li Jinyu and said, Ignore him. He's just a hamster. He's easily frightened. I don't know how he made up his mind to resign. Li Jinyu smiled and touched his head. If it weren't for his personality, he wouldn't have wasted so many years at Muyao TV. Well, since the 2 teachers are here, let's confirm the time and duration of the live broadcast. Yesterday, our program team discussed the idea of live broadcasting for the whole day on Saturday and Sunday, and about 2 hours on weeknights. He accidentally made eye contact with Xiangyi. Li Jinyu shuddered. Of course, that's just our idea. Teacher, Shi Sui. Master Xiangyi, if you 2 have any opinions, we can adjust it flexibly. 2 under one roof. Must be the most humble program team in history, Xiangyi. I do. Li Jinyu. Please go ahead. Don't call me Master. Pondering for a long time, Li Jinyu asked cautiously, Then should I call you Big Boss? Whatever. Shi Sui chuckled. Li Jinyu picked up his phone and ordered takeout. The staff members woke up one after another. Everyone woke up earlier than usual. The reason was none other than that he was looking forward to teacher Xiangyi's breakfast. In the end, what she received was takeout ordered by the director. Everyone. That's it. Li Jinyu cleared his throat and said in a dignified manner, Teacher Xiangyi works so hard. How can we let her make breakfast for us every day? We have to learn to earn our own living. Do you understand? Everyone seemed to understand, but not fully. They nodded in a daze and then ate. In fact, Li Jinyu was quite generous. The breakfast he ordered was very sumptuous, but everyone felt that. No soul. Hey, look at the trending searches. Teacher Xiangyi actually occupies 3 spots in the top 10. Hashtag Xiangyi's SCI thesis hashtag. Hashtag Xiangyi's dishwasher hashtag. Just these 2. I just clicked on them. Teacher Xiangyi is really amazing. So, is that untimely couple who's 3rd on the trending searches. A few minutes later, I feel like I've opened the door to a new world. Teacher Xiangyi and Teacher Shui, can these two be a couple? Just as everyone was gossiping, someone reminded them. Stop. Shui's agent is here. Chapter 111. The noisy gazebo fell silent for a second. Everyone was scared but curious at the same time. They all looked at the newcomer. A black Audi was parked at the entrance of the manor. A very elite-looking man got out of the car. He was dressed in a strict black suit and rimless glasses. Compared to an artist in the entertainment industry, he looked more like a financial tycoon in an investment bank. Sichuan Bai, a well-known agent in the entertainment industry. He was ruthless and swift in his actions. He had single-handedly made several superstars famous. As he passed by the gazebo, he adjusted his glasses and nodded slightly at everyone. Everyone hurriedly greeted him. Good morning, Mr. C. Hello, Mr. C. Mr. C. Shuringdi is in the living room. Sichuan Bai. Thank you. After he walked away, everyone felt relieved. Oh my God, Mr. C's aura is even stronger than the overbearing CEO. At the same time, in the living room, Xiangyi's agent, Nan, was slurping down beef brisket rice noodles. The beef brisket had been simmered overnight. It was soft and fragrant, and when he bit into it, the rich gravy would splash out. The fine rice noodles made from high-quality white sticky rice had a clear and sweet taste. Nan couldn't stop eating when paired with a few side dishes. Shui ate the noodles slowly. He didn't seem to be picky at all. No matter what Xiangyi cooked, he would eat it happily. As for Xiangyu, he was a standard night owl and was still asleep. Xiangyi had left some food for him. Another bowl. Nan couldn't help but burp. Xiangyi laughed. You'll get indigestion if you continue eating. Nan looked at her eagerly. Xiangyi shook her head and scooped half a bowl of rice noodles for him. The door of the villa wasn't closed. Sichuan Bai, who was at the door, saw this scene. He couldn't help but think of the post on the melon forum. His eyebrows twitched violently, and he raised his hand to knock on the door. The three people at the dining table looked in the direction of the sound. Shui asked in a natural tone, Have you had breakfast? Sichuan Bai said indifferently, I need to talk to you. Shui wiped the corners of his mouth. He stood up and followed Sichuan Bai to the balcony. Nan's eyes were filled with yearning. So, this is a gold medal manager. He looks so high-class. Oh, his hair is so lush, and his briefcase is made of rare leather. Xiangyi, okay, this focus is very on Nan. A top manager? She asked. Nan explained, Sichuan Bai's business ability is really strong. He doesn't hesitate to tier up resources. Most importantly, he has a good eye for talent. He was the one who saved Shurindi back then. Save? Xiangyi wanted to ask for more details, but Xiao Naofu jumped into her arms and rubbed against her fingertips. It even took the initiative to expose its soft white belly to Xiangyi. The girl said seriously, No, there's a lot of seasoning in the beef brisket. You might have a stomachache if you eat it. Meow. Just one piece. Xiangyi hesitated for a moment, but she really couldn't resist Xiao Naofu's cuteness. She picked up a piece of beef brisket, rinsed it with water, and fed it to Xiao Naofu. Xiao Naofu took a bite, and its icy blue eyes instantly widened. Meow. There's actually such delicious food in the world. This Hu must be the happiest Hu in the world. Xiangyi was interrupted by Xiao Naofu and forgot about the topic she wanted to ask Nan. On the balcony, Sichuan Bai handed Shui a phone, and the screen stopped at the post on the melon forum, looking for candy to eat every day in the glass shards of the untimely CP. Take a look for yourself. What kind of public opinion has fermented now? Shui swiped the screen and read hundreds of replies. Then, she leisurely gave the original poster a like. Sichuan Bai. What kind of trick is this? Asterisk good night. Chapter 112. It's written well. It's interesting and imaginative. Shui's eyes were full of smiles as he commented. The famous manager in the industry took a deep breath and exhaled forcefully before asking through gritted teeth, What are you thinking? Are you just fooling around or are you serious? I'll arrange the rest of your work for you. Shui said innocently, That depends on her. Sichuan Bai was speechless. The man was no longer as calm as he usually was. He took off his glasses and said, So the netizen speculation is true? You're the one who's wooing her? I'm not wooing her. Si Chuanbai heaved a sigh of relief. The next second, he heard Shui say slowly, "It's not time yet." Si Chuanbai felt a lump in his throat. He suddenly had the urge to drink some oral medication. I'm sure you're aware of her reputation in the industry. If you're determined, I have nothing to say. Si Chuanbai gritted his teeth and reminded him like a father. Take precautions, unless you're planning to appear on a father's show in 3 years. Shui smiled faintly. It was unclear what he meant. Si Chuanbai knew that he had his own opinions. Once he made a decision, no one could interfere. As long as you know what to do. Let's talk about your schedule for the next month. Si Chuanbai was efficient and professional. He finished all his work in half an hour. Okay, I'll get going first. Call me if you need anything, Si Chuanbai said in a businesslike tone. Shui mixed a bowl of noodles for herself and asked, "Are you really not going to have a bowl of noodles before you leave?" Si Chuanbai said coldly, "I'm not interested in Chinese breakfast." Actually, he could have settled Shui's work over the phone or through video call. The reason why he came was to see Xiangyi with his own eyes. It was just as the netizens said. He didn't even fill a bowl of noodles for Shui. Not only that, but Shui even took the initiative to pour water for him. He even asked nicely if he wanted it warm or warm. Si Chuanbai felt his chest tighten. His gaze fell on Xiangyi. The young girl was busy packing up side dishes, fruits, and so on. She nagged at the colorful feather duster. "Do you want spicy beef? I have vacuum-packed ones that will keep for a long time. There's also some pickled radish and cabbage for you." "Good boy, that's enough." Anan glanced at Si Chuanbai with a guilty conscience. His hair was combed to the back and fixed with wax. His wristwatch and cufflinks looked very expensive. His leather shoes were polished to a shine. His black briefcase looked ordinary, but it was actually a custom-made model of rare leather from a famous brand. As for him, he had a flowery shirt from Taobao that cost 39.99 yuan, a pair of large pants that cost 20 yuan from a night market stall, and the most expensive sports shoes that cost 100 yuan from a Baida's. Anan was so embarrassed that he couldn't even lift his head. He usually dressed like a decent person. Today was his day off, so he let loose and dressed like this to freeload breakfast at Xiangyi's house. Who would have thought that he would bump into Si Chuanbai without comparison? There would be no harm. Oh, here it's packed. It should last for a long time. Xiangyi used a floral cloth to wrap all the lunchboxes into a half-meter-high bento bag. Anan was very touched. "Hoo, good boy. You're so good. I'll go back and work hard. I'll get you the most profitable endorsement. It's the easiest job." Si Chuanbai, there was nothing wrong with that. It was just too real. Before leaving, Si Chuanbai casually glanced at the bags in Anan's arms. Inexplicably, he was a little envious. Chapter 113. It was almost 11 o'clock when Xiangyu woke up. He rubbed his eyes and walked out of the room drowsily. Outside the floor-to-ceiling window, Xiangyi was trimming the withered flowers and extra branches in the endless sea of flowers. She was a very patient person. Even if she had to repeat simple things, she wouldn't show any impatience. Xiangyu gulped. It really was his sister. Yesterday wasn't a dream. He subconsciously picked up his phone and typed a message in the family group. Just as he was about to send it, he suddenly paused. If Xiangyu and the others knew about his sister's secret, would he still have a chance to order her around when those sissy-loving maniacs took action? No. Xiangyu, who thought he was the smartest in the family, deleted the text one by one and swaggered into the garden. He sat on a rocking chair next to Xiangyi, crossed his legs, and said like a boss, "Sister, pour me a glass of water." Xiangyi stopped what she was doing, and her eyes curved into the shape of a crescent moon. "You're awake? Do you want something to eat other than water?" "Oh, sister's sister is so gentle. Ah, how could he order his sister around?" Xiangyu was full of guilt. He jumped off the rocking chair and said arrogantly and indifferently, "Your legs are so short. I don't need you to run errands. I'll go to the kitchen and find something to eat. There's a thermos in the fridge. You can eat it after heating it up." I know. Women are so long-winded." Xiangyu finished his meal in a few bites in the kitchen and poured a glass of warm water for his sister. He even added honey with a small spoon. Was a spoonful too little? Another spoonful. After mixing it evenly, Xiang Yu carried the honey water to his sister. When he was in front of her, he changed his expression and put one hand in his pocket. Here, I poured it for you on the way. Xiang Yi took it with a smile. She took a small sip and praised. It's so sweet and the temperature is just right. Brother, you're so good. You can make it taste perfect with just a touch. Oomph, of course. Don't you know who I am? Xiang Yu couldn't suppress the corners of his mouth. He was in a good mood and snatched the gardening shears from Xiang Yi's hand. See that rocking chair? Go sit there. You're so slow. I'll show your brother's speed. Xiang Yu showed her what it meant to be a gaming god's hand speed. He completely forgot about ordering his little sister around. A peaceful and warm day passed in the blink of an eye. At 8 p.m., the live broadcast began. Countless viewers instantly flooded into the Two Under One Roof live stream. After waiting for an entire day, it's finally live. Excited. I see Sheringi, his black shirt looks so good. Smog looks so cute in this cream sweater. Danger. The little vase has entered the kitchen. Friends, quickly prepare to eat. Xiangyi tied her hair into a bun and went to check the braised food in the casserole. The camera panned and landed on a pot of sugar-colored red brine. The duck wings, beef, eggs, shiitake mushrooms, and dried tofu that had been braised for an entire afternoon were glowing red. Just looking at them was enough to whet one's appetite. Xiangyi turned off the heat and let the braised food soak in the pot. She then made some onion oil noodles and assorted cold dishes. Remembering that Li Jinyu had told her to pay attention to her interactions with netizens, she turned to the camera and said gently, "A simple and homely dinner is ready. Has everyone eaten yet?" The live comments in the live stream. You call this a homely meal? Sorry to disturb you. Oh, I want to go to Sister Yi's house with a bowl of food. I'm different. I want to go to the dog's house with a bowl. Chapter 114. In the living room, Shi Sui opened a can of cat food, while Xiao Naofu buried its face into the bowl. The man's slender fingers stroked the back of Xiao Naofu's neck. Xiao Naofu stuck out its butt in protest, but it accidentally sat on the ground and let out a cute meow. Xiang Yu, who had a strong furry fetish, clenched his fists and forced himself to remain calm. Aha! Such a cute kitten. I can rub it until it goes bald. However, on the surface, he maintained a noble, cold, and disdainful expression. When the food was served, Xiao Naofu jumped into Xiang Yu's arms before quietly poking out half of its head. Although the canned food was delicious, it had been full of curiosity about human food ever since it tasted Xiang Yu's brisket in the morning. Its soft, meaty paws clawed at Xiang Yu's plate. Wanting to taste the braised food he had picked up, Xiao Naofu. Xiang Yi's voice rang out, scaring Xiao Naofu into Xiang Yu's arms. Xiang Yi, brother, can't eat spicy food, don't feed it. Xiao Naofu whined coquettishly. Meow, 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 Xiang Yu. On one side was his sister, and on the other was a cat. Men are so difficult, cack in the comment section of the live stream. Sameo G's troubled expression is so cute. Why is the vase fairy so stingy? What's wrong with feeding the cat some delicious food? Hey, did you know that cats can get sick if they ingest too much salt, and that eating too much stimulating food can cause sudden death? Xiang Yu hesitated for a few seconds before tactfully handing the cat to Shi Sui. Sorry, brother Shi. Xiao Naofu had a natural resistance to Shi Sui, and its little legs kicked in the air twice in dissatisfaction. Shi Sui looked down and smiled slightly. If you eat it secretly, He raised an eyebrow. Kiss you, understand? Xiao Naofu. Oh, this stinky man is so bad. The live stream exploded. Is there such a good thing? I'll eat it. I'll eat it. Hubby, kiss me. For a moment, I don't know who to envy. I'm crying tears of envy in front of the screen. Shi Sui picked up a piece of braised beef and waved it in front of Xiao Naofu. Xiao Naofu endured the humiliation and turned its face away. Xiang Yu was dumbfounded. He didn't expect Brother Shi to solve the problem that he couldn't solve so easily. However, looking at Xiao Naofu's drooping head, he couldn't bear to see it like this. So he ate his meal absent-mindedly. After the meal, Xiang Yu drove away the cameraman and went to coax Xiao Naofu with some dried fish. Xiao Naofu, I was wrong. It's not that I don't want to help you, but we have to listen to our sister. All right. Don't be angry. Come and have some dried fish. That's right. Eat slowly. There's no rush. Xiangyu thought that without the cameraman, the netizens in the live stream wouldn't be able to see him. Little did she know that Li Jinyu and the others had installed fixed cameras in the bedroom, kitchen, pavilion, and other places. This scene made countless people laugh. Goose, goose, goose. Does he not know that there are fixed cameras? I'm going to laugh my head off. My bestie just said that it's not that straight guys don't know how to coax people. It's just that the person he's coaxing isn't you. Smog is so much like my dad. Every time my mom criticizes me, he doesn't dare to say anything. Then he secretly coaxes me behind my mom's back. Ha ha. After eating and drinking to its fill, Xiao Naofu lay on its belly and played with its tail. Xiangyu looked around, and after confirming that no one was around, he plunged into the kitten's belly and rubbed his head against it happily. What? The esports god also likes cats. The netizens exclaimed, I didn't expect you to be such a Sameo. Gah. Chapter 115. Xiangyu, who had been sucking on a cat for a few minutes, was completely unaware that his image had been shattered in front of millions of netizens. Xiao Naofu was dumbfounded. At first, it waved its paws to refuse, but when it couldn't break free, it had no choice but to endure the humiliation. Stupid woman, this Ho-Hu has sacrificed so much for you to make up with your brother. Xiangyu's face was full of satisfaction as he sucked on the cat. He hugged Xiao Naofu and kissed it on the cheek. Xiao Naofu, I'm not clean anymore. Be good. I'll come see you next time. Xiangyu pressed his forehead against the cat's and said reluctantly, I'm going back to the base. When I win the competition and earn the prize money, I'll buy you food and snacks. Buy me food? Xiao Naofu's ears twitched as it proactively rubbed against Xiangyu's chest and collarbone. Its eyes lit up as it said in a childish voice, Meow, meow. It seemed to be saying, I only have Big Brother in my heart. Big Brother must come see me, the comment in the live stream. Green tea meow. What a bitch. Ha! A cat and a man have reached a deal, just like that. I'm so looking forward to the moment Smog finds out about the camera. Logic, please remind him to watch the replay. Xiangyu came to the kitchen and saw his sister packing food for him. His heart suddenly softened as it was filled to the brim. Don't pack food, we can't finish it. Xiangyu stuck his hands in his pockets, refusing to look at Xiangyu. We have Annie's at the base to cook, and you can order takeout. Xiangyu blinked her eyes, her voice soft. Then you can share it with your teammates. Xiangyu remembered the last conversation he had with his sister a year ago, and his nose suddenly felt a little sour. Big Brother, I'll cook you delicious food when you come back from the competition. TCH, who cares? Okay, don't send me off. There are mosquitoes outside. They'll sting you later. He suddenly panicked and stepped forward to grab Xiangyu's shoulders. The girl's body was thin and slender, so thin that her bones hurt his hand. You're not leaving, right? Xiangyu was stunned for a few seconds before she gently replied, Yes. Xiangyu sniffed and said fiercely, If you're lying to me, I'll never talk to you again. Emotions were contagious. Xiangyu wasn't a pretentious person, but at that moment, her eyes were slightly red. She gave Xiangyu a hug and said in a soft but firm voice, I won't lie to you again. Brother, I promise. Although the brothers of the Xiang family all spoiled their little sister, in front of Xiangyu, they always abided by the propriety of men and women. After she started kindergarten, they rarely even hugged her. When girls grow up, they can't just hug boys. Xiangyu muttered, But I'll let you hug me today, but you're not allowed to hug any other man except my sister, got it? In the live stream. Oh my God, why do I feel like crying when I see this? Sameo Ge looks fierce on the surface in front of his sister, but he's actually very doting on her equals W smiley face. The romance variety show next door is making me feel awkward. Two Under One Roof is much better. This kind of warm daily life is so healing. Sure Sui and Xiangyu walks Xiangyu to the entrance of the manor. Let's go. Brother Sure, I'll leave my sister to you. Help me take care of her. Xiangyu waved at the two of them. Sure Sui pushed his gold-rimmed glasses up his nose and said calmly, Definitely. Chapter 116. Parting was always intertwined with melancholy. Xiangyi watched her brother's car drive away. She felt a little sad, but she was also full of joy. Her brother had forgiven her. That's great. The moon is beautiful tonight. Shi Sui's deep and gentle voice sounded in her ear. Xiangyi froze for a moment before looking up. The crescent moon was like a hook, and the stars in the sky were like water. She smiled and said, "Yeah, the stars are beautiful too. Do you want a drink?" Shi Sui's casual suggestion stunned all the staff at the scene, not to mention the netizens in the live stream. What the F***CK? Drink? Two people under the same roof. What kind of direction is this? Boo-hoo, Shi Sui, you're too naive. What if the vase fairy does something to you when she's drunk? What's wrong with Shi Sui? The moon and the wine. Is he really interested in the little vase? Xiangyi's eyes lit up. Sure, the rice wine I brewed last year is just right. I'll go get it from the wine cellar. It's a little dark, I'll go get it. I'll go make some dishes then. Let's have supper while we're at it. Shi Sui chuckled and said, Okay, I'll listen to you. The netizens in the live stream were speechless. Shi Sui's tone is inexplicably doting. I have to say, these two are so good-looking. Just a casual scene from an idol drama. Sameo, I just left, and you're already having supper behind my back? Is this something a human would do? Shi Sui returned with a small jar of rice wine. Xiangyi had already prepared the electric grill and was humming a light melody as she brushed oil on the grill. There were a few plates next to it, which were filled with ingredients such as pork belly, squid, tofu, eggplant, and peanuts. Seeing Shi Sui enter, Xiangyi said apologetically, It's too late, and there are limited ingredients at home. Senior, can you make do? Li Jinyu, who was behind the camera, swallowed his saliva, his eyes wide open. Big boss, you call this making do? Shi Sui replied calmly, I won't compromise. He opened the jar of rice wine, and the unique sweet aroma of rice wine filled the air. The little girl was skillful, and even ordinary rice wine was brewed by her to have a unique flavor. One was pouring wine, while the other was roasting meat. The scene was natural and harmonious. The comments in the live stream went crazy. Oh my god, as long as these two are in the same frame, I'll start imagining the sweet background music. Friends, follow me and post this sentence on the public chat. Untimely is real. CP fans, can you shut up? I suggest that everyone report them whenever they see them. It's just a meal. What are you guys imagining? Shi Sui only sees the vase fairy as his sister. Oh, Shurindi is pouring wine for the little vase. Isn't it usually the younger generation pouring for the older generation? This microscopic girl felt that Shurindi did not treat the little vase as a junior at all. Hands on hips. As soon as Shi Sui finished pouring the wine, Xiangyi couldn't wait to take a sip. The sweet aroma of rice wrapped around the sweet aroma of wine, and the taste was superb. She narrowed her eyes and quietly savored the taste for a few seconds before exclaiming, It's delicious. Shi Sui smirked. She's indeed a little alcoholic. He had discovered her when she was 17 years old. The thinly sliced pork belly sizzled in the roasting pan, and the fat dripped onto the pan. It didn't take long for it to be cooked. Senior, have some meat. Xiangyi generously gave the entire pot of barbecued pork belly to Shi Sui. A bunch of haters appeared in the comment section. Ha, she's finally showing her true colors. No matter how much you suck up to Shurindi, he won't like you. Toxic, can a woman's value only be realized by sucking up to men? The next second, Shurindi's faint voice echoed in the live stream. I remember that you hate eating pork belly the most. The haters? Chapter 117. All the trolls were speechless. How the F***CK are we supposed to argue with him? Ahem. Xiangyi, who had been exposed, choked and coughed. She awkwardly put down the cup of rice wine and said, Senior, your memory is really good. She remembered that she had only seen Shi Sui a few times in total, right? The number of times they had eaten together could be counted on one hand, probably only 2 or 3 times. He actually remembered her preferences. Perhaps her uncle had mentioned them to him before? You're still as picky about food as you were when you were young. Shi Sui slowly dipped the pork into Xiangyi's secret barbecue sauce. The streaky pork was oily but not greasy, and when bitten into it, the meat was juicy. The ingredients were fresh enough, and the slightly spicy sauce doubled the taste. Xiangyi held the grilled squid with a pair of tongs and said weakly, "I'm all grown up now. I'm not picky about food anymore." "Is that so?" The man raised his eyebrows, his peach blossom eyes full of ridicule. "Xiangyi, because I've never bought food that I hate when I grew up." In the live stream, "Ha, Sister E is so serious and hilarious. The truth is out. No wonder my mom isn't picky about food. It's because she has control over our family's purchasing power." When you were young, I remember now, Ingi mentioned that the two families are family friends. So, are they childhood sweethearts? After the squid was cooked, Xiangyi first threw the meat into the barbecue sauce and rolled it a few times. She then took a piece of lettuce and rolled it up with pickles and tofu before stuffing it into her mouth. Her cheeks were puffed up as she ate. Grilled meat and vegetables are really the best match. Li Jinyu also quickly asked the cameraman, Old Li, to give a close-up of the grill. There was golden streaky pork, red and tender squid, tender and white tofu, light-colored eggplant. The sound recording equipment transmitted the subtle sizzling sounds and splashing sounds of oil to the electronic devices of the netizens. It could be said to be a feast for the eyes and ears of the netizens. Sister E is so cute. Did anyone team up to steal Sister E? F***CK. The production team is ruthless. I'm not going to lose weight. I just finished dinner and ordered takeout. After watching live streams for 3 days, I've gained 2 pounds. F***CK. Ingi, can't you just talk about love with the little vase? Couldn't they hold hands and kiss on the lips? Eat, eat, eat. All you know is to eat. Ingi, you can't do it. In an instant, a silly term rushed to the real-time hot search, and there was a trend of rising. With meat and wine, the sadness in Xiangyi's heart disappeared without a trace. She even clinked glasses with Shui in a good mood. Cheers! Shui followed her here, almost to the point of indulgence. Bullet screen. He. Round it up. This is the cross-cupped wine. You guys sit here and don't move. I'll move the Civil Affairs Bureau over after I finish the takeout. No one would have expected that Shui and Xiangyi's CP fans would suddenly grow stronger just because of a midnight snack. At 9 o'clock, the live stream ended. The netizens were still unsatisfied, and they quickly picked up the hashtag untimely hashtag. There were even some wives who began to produce food. Sweet cookies and Q maps were all over the super forum. At the same time, Si Chuanbai, who had just finished a day of work and was about to soak his feet, was so bombarded by a series of phone calls that he didn't even have time to put his feet into the wooden basin. He opened Weibo to take a look, only to see that hashtag Ingi is no good hashtag was on the hot search list. Is this PR or not? Should I remove the hot search list or not? He lit a cigarette for himself with a face full of vicissitudes. Chapter 118. At the manor, Xiangyi prepared the ingredients for the staff, and everyone happily gathered for a barbecue. Shui and Xiangyi were left alone in the living room. Shui leaned back in his chair and lazily stared at the little bunny in front of him. The girl rested her cheeks on her hands and waited for the rice wine and eggs to boil in the pot on the table. Her milky white face was slightly flushed from the alcohol, and her beautiful starry eyes were sparkling. Her persistent and expectant gaze was as cute as ever. Shui's memories were pulled back to 3 years ago. He had a good memory, but he never remembered unimportant things. He couldn't remember why he went to the Xiang residence to look for Xiangfeng that day. The only thing he remembered was that little Xiangyi was secretly drinking at home. The little girl in the bunny pajamas opened the door for him. According to etiquette, he should have left, but at that time, he stepped into the Xiang residence. The little girl had prepared a complete set of dishes to go with the wine. There were shredded squid, edamame, chicken feet with pickled peppers, peanuts, fried chicken. There weren't many dishes, but they filled the entire coffee table. There were 2 empty bottles of fruit wine and half a bottle of red wine on the table. Shui picked up the wine bottle and looked at the alcohol content. His slender fingertips pinched the space between his eyebrows. The little girl was completely unguarded against him. She patted the furry cushion next to her and said, sit here. Shui clicked his tongue and said, You're quite brave. The little girl was obviously drunk. She smiled sweetly at him. As she smiled, she even confessed softly, I'm sorry. Brother, you're so handsome. I like you so much. Shui covered his thin lips with his fingers and coughed awkwardly. The person being teased didn't feel shy, but the teasing man grabbed a pillow and buried half his face in it, only revealing a pair of clear and bright eyes. Shui bent his knees and half knelt in front of her. His fingers lazily rested on the back of his neck. You like me? He smiled and teased her. Kid, if you fall in love with me, your brothers and uncles will gang up on me, right? I'm not a kid, she mumbled in a soft voice. You're underage. Can't I like people just because I'm underage? The little girl asked in confusion. No, Shui answered casually and picked up a piece of squid to eat, but it was snatched away by Xiangyi. The little girl said domineeringly, Then you're not allowed to eat it. Shui was amused by her. Stingy, stingy. Xiangyi pouted. She thought for a moment and asked him, Then when I grow up, can I like you? Shui took out the cigarette box, hesitated for a moment, and then put it back into his trouser pocket. As you wish. The little girl looked at the shredded squid, then looked at him. She chopped the already thin shredded squid even thinner before stuffing it into his hand. She said in a friendly manner, Then you can eat a little. After saying that, the little girl tilted her head onto the sofa. Her eyelids were so heavy that she couldn't open them. In the blink of an eye, she fell asleep. Shui. He lowered his head and looked at the shredded squid in his palm. He bit down lightly with the tip of his teeth, and a faint sweetness spread out. He lowered his eyes and smiled very lightly. Ding! The health pot stopped working. Xiangyi scooped a bowl of rice wine and eggs for Shui first before scooping a bowl for herself. Shui came back to his senses, and his gaze landed on Xiangyi. The little girl was stirring with a spoon to dissipate the heat. The red goji berries, the yellow egg, and the white glutinous rice were rippling. She scooped a spoonful and tasted it. It was so hot that she gasped. Sensing his gaze, Xiangyi turned her small face and looked into his eyes. Instantly, she met the senior's gaze that was as though he was looking at a scumbag. The little girl licked the corner of her lips and was inexplicably terrified. It's very sweet. Senior, don't you want to try it? Asterisk. Is this week's recommendation 10 times better than before? Omega, good night. Chapter 119. Shui narrowed his eyes. Really? Xiangyi looked at him innocently. After a few seconds, she suddenly understood. She picked up a clean spoon and stirred Shui's bowl of rice wine and eggs. She pushed it to his hand. The temperature should be okay. If it were another man, Xiangyi wouldn't do this. But after all, it was her own Zai. Of course, she had to take care of him. Shui smiled ambiguously. You've grown up. Xiangyi waited for a while, but didn't hear anything else. She asked curiously, At this time, shouldn't I praise you more for being sensible? Shui drank the rice wine slowly and said in a tired voice, You really don't know anything, Xiangyi. Okay, whatever Zai says. The little girl showed a doting smile like an old mother. After drinking the rice wine and glutinous rice balls, Shui consciously went to wash the dishes. There were only 2 bowls and a pot. He didn't use the dishwasher and turn on the tap to wash them. By the way, Senior, I'm going out tomorrow. I may not be there for the live broadcast at night. Xiangyi's voice came through the sound of the water. He turned off the tap and looked back. Tomato Entertainment's annual party? Huh. Senior, you know about it too? Yes, I heard Sichuanbai mention it today. Tomato Entertainment was the agency signed by the one who occupied Xiangyi's body. It wasn't a big company, but because it was good at marketing, it was quite famous in the circle. Xiangyi, I can make lunch for you and put it in the fridge. If you want to eat it, just heat it up, or I'll try to come back early to cook. As she spoke, Xiangyi suddenly paused. It was just going out. Why did it seem like she was sorry to him? Moreover, Zai couldn't order takeout if he wanted to. It wasn't like he had to eat her cooking. She was a little embarrassed and habitually scratched her eyebrows. The man's steady and mellow voice fell into her ears. I'll wait for you to come back. The warm light dimmed the top of his head. When away from the camera, He was obviously a very sharp and alienated man. At this time, he was gentle like a husband waiting for his newlywed wife to come home. Xiangyi's heart skipped a beat, and she held her breath. Suddenly, she heard him chuckle and say, with Xiao Naofu. Phew, Xiangyi exhaled. She didn't have time to figure out why her heart was beating so fast. She nodded and said, I'm going to bed. Good night. Good night. These two simple words sounded inexplicably sweet and soft when they came out of his mouth. Xiangyi quickened her pace and rubbed her burning ears in panic. The next day, after lunch, Xiangyi began to prepare lunch. Xiao Naofu's portion was boiled chicken breast and pumpkin puree. Shui's portion consisted of sweet and sour pork ribs, thick egg-braised rice balls, and purple rice balls with meat floss. After adding cat food and water to Xiao Naofu's bowl, Xiangyi said goodbye to Shui. Senior, I'm leaving. Take care of yourself and Xiao Naofu. Shui's tone was gentle. Okay, take care of yourself and don't drink. I won't. Xiangyi remembered that on the day she transmigrated back, she was drunk in Shui's room. The girl smiled awkwardly but politely, turned around and walked away. As soon as she left, only one person and one cat were left in the living room. Xiao Naofu jumped onto the sofa and slumped into a pancake. It looked at her provocatively. Meow, 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 meow. This is my territory. Shui unceremoniously picked up Xiao Naofu. She raised her eyebrows and smiled slightly. No one is backing you up. Who are you going to be unreasonable with? Kitty. Meow. Xiao Naofu. Why is this stinky man like a villain? Chapter 120. Xiao Naofu kicked its little legs, wanting to kick Shui a few times. Shui saw through its thoughts and, relying on his tall stature and long arms, raised the hatchet a little higher. This time, no matter how hard it kicked with its short legs, it couldn't reach him at all. There's only you and me at home now. No one will know if a disobedient kitten gets stewed, Shui said casually. Xiao Naofu didn't dare to move anymore, its round eyes filled with tears. Boo-hoo! Aren't I the most pampered hoo-hoo in the family? Why did Shui, this stinky man, change as soon as that stupid woman left? So be good, okay? Shui's gentle tone made Xiao Naofu tremble. It hesitated for a few seconds, then tried to please Shui. Meow, meow. Where there's life, there's hope. When Xiangyi comes back, watch this hoo-hoo play you to death. Shui sat down on the sofa with Xiao Naofu in his arms, his slender fingers gently stroking the back of the cat's neck. Xiao Naofu endured the humiliation and thought, since I can't resist, I'll just enjoy it. It meowed happily, relaxed its body, and nestled on Shui's long legs, thinking that the stinky man's muscles were quite comfortable. The next second, Shui muttered to himself, I heard kittens can be neutered at 6 months. TSK, I wonder how old Xiao Naofu is now. Xiao Naofu? Damn it, be a human, Shui. This hoo-hoo is still a baby, and you're already thinking of such cruel things. Even the dogs raised at Little Rabbit Farm aren't as good as you. While it was feeling indignant, Shui's thin lips curled up. It seemed that he had guessed correctly. Xiao Naofu understood human language and even had the thought process of a child. However, it didn't seem very smart to have probed so easily. At the entrance of the manor, Xiangyi saw a Nan waving at her from afar. Sweetheart, here, here. Behind him was a rather stylish nanny van. The entertainment industry was an extremely realistic place. When Xiangyi was being criticized by the entire internet, the nanny van that her company gave her was in tatters. Now that Two Under One Roof had just started airing a few days ago, the company immediately gave her a new one. Anan opened the car door for Xiangyi and nagged about the upcoming itinerary. I'll take you to get your makeup done and change first. We'll walk the red carpet at 6 o'clock. Wait a minute. Xiangyi interrupted him. It starts at 6. Why are you here so early? My goodness, you haven't recovered your memory yet, Anan said sadly. Can you have some self-awareness as a female celebrity? I'm already late enough. That little demoness who doesn't get along with you has been starving since 3 days ago. She wanted to try on her makeup early this morning. Her makeup is so exquisite that it takes 1 or 2 hours. Xiangyi, I'm sorry to disturb. I don't understand the entertainment industry. Oh, right. You haven't seen the dress you're going to wear today, right? Here, I took a photo. Anand swiped through the photo album and showed it to Xiangyi. Isn't it pretty? I've carefully selected them. It was a bright red dress that was very visually striking. Xiangyi pursed her lips, and some memories that she didn't want to recall flashed through her mind. She closed her eyes and said softly, "Thank you, it's very beautiful." Anand didn't notice her abnormality and was excitedly scrolling through the Melon forum. However, as he scrolled through, his face turned ugly. A glaring title came into view. Take a look at how low Vase Fairy's dress is today. Chapter 121. Main post. Today is FQ's annual meeting. I'm sure everyone knows that today is FQ's annual meeting. Jiang Chun lives up to his name, wearing a custom-made black suit ASWL. A few of the female artists are also outstanding. Lin Jia's mermaid dress shows off her figure. Mo Li's gender-neutral suit is also very nice. And the most beautiful is Qin Wanyan's starry dress. I found a picture posted by her manager. She's simply a shining fairy, okay? Then came the funny part. Wasn't a certain vase fairy very popular recently? After searching for a long time, I couldn't find any official photos. However, a friend revealed that the dress her manager had borrowed looked like this. The attached picture is below. Everyone could take a look. Today's lowest order, the post also mentioned several of Tomato Entertainment's most popular artists, and it immediately gained popularity. Brother Jiang Chun, kill me. Unbutton your sister's shirt. Mo Li's face is really high-end. She's a walking clothes hanger. No wonder she's a model. Qin Wanyan is amazing. She's a fairy, compared to Vase Fairy's outfit. Oh my god, look at those sparkling sequins. This young actress isn't going for the cute style, but is she going for the style of a century dancer? Sisters, I've checked the price. This dress is from a niche designer overseas. It's only a little over 10,000. Instead of buying it, she borrowed it. Forgive me for being blunt, but she's so low. To be honest, this dress looks like a cheap online celebrity. Even if she can't borrow a luxury brand's new season, she should at least wear something from last year's Fashion Week. I feel like Vase Fairy isn't even qualified to be a vase today. Xiangyi saw that Anand's expression wasn't right. She asked gently, "What's wrong?" Anand showed her the post and said aggrievedly, "It's obviously from Qin Wanyan's people. My dear, you treat her like a sister and treat her so well. How can she treat you like this?" It wasn't the first time Xiangyi had heard the name Qin Wanyan. Yanai called her Sister Wanyan over and over again. Xiangyi asked, "In the past year, have we been close?" Anand went crazy. "Of course. The two of you are great, but you're too silly. You listen to everything Qin Wanyan says. She said that the best friends in the entertainment industry are not really best friends, so she never mentioned that you two are friends in front of others. She even said that singing and acting are too hard, and that it's better to go on variety shows to earn money. You really listened to her." After complaining for a long time, Anand finally stopped. "Io, my throat is almost smoking." Xiangyi handed him a bottle of mineral water and unscrewed the cap. Anand gulped down half a bottle and regained his fighting spirit. "My dear, don't be sad. I'm going to scold them right now. I don't think these keyboard warriors know how to respect people if they don't experience the beating of society." Half an hour later, Anand, who wanted to beat someone up, ended up being mercilessly beaten up by netizens. He hugged his knees and sobbed. "Oh my god, they're so fierce. Hashtag rookie Anand, shut down on the spot. Hashtag Xiangyi coaxed. Do you want to come to my place for hot pot after dinner?" Anand, exclamation point. "Okay, I want to eat lamb rolls. Then I'll ask Uncle Wong to kill a lamb in advance." "That's too cruel," Anand said as he swallowed the saliva that was about to reach his mouth. He was looking forward to eating lamb. Oh no, the annual party. At 5:50 in the evening, all the major media outlets gathered at the entrance of the Zmun Hotel. The drizzle couldn't dampen the enthusiasm of the crowd. Tomato Entertainment's official live stream started at this time. Chapter 122. Finally, the live stream is on. The officials are leading the way. Welcome to Tomato Entertainment's large-scale beauty contest. Don't miss it if you're passing by. Where is Chun Chun? I just want to see Chun Chun Cub. I'm curious who Jiang Chun will be walking the red carpet with today. Is his female companion with a member of C7? I'm dying of laughter. C7, the abbreviation of Jiang Chen's boy group. Please don't freeload off our brother Jiang Chen's popularity, okay? I can't bring these trash members along. In the entertainment industry, Jiang Chen's fans are the most disgusting. They're a group to begin with. Quit if you can. Do you really think you're the best without the support of your fans? The red carpet show hadn't even started yet, but the fans were already tearing into each other. Xiang Yi, who had finished her styling, leaned against the nanny's seat and closed her eyes to rest. Anin was still gossiping with her. Wow, C7's fans and Jiang Chen's fans are tearing into each other again. They sure have a variety of ways to greet each other's ancestors. Jiang Chun had debuted as the face of C7. After forming the group was only considered a small hit. However, Jiang Chen's personal popularity had skyrocketed due to his participation in a certain idol drama. His popularity alone was higher than that of the other 6 members combined. Thus, Tomato Entertainment began to stir up trouble. The officials announced that Jiang Chun would not be leaving the group for solo activities. Following that, a years-long battle between the group's fans and his fans began. Xiang Yi had bumped into them in the styling studio just now. The 7 boys were all very good-looking, but the atmosphere was oppressive. Each of them had their own group, and Jiang Chun was undoubtedly the one being isolated. Xiang Yi's dressing room was at the end of the corridor. While waiting for the nanny car to arrive, she accidentally overheard the conversation between Jiang Chun and his agent outside. Jiang Chun, don't you know you're prone to edema? Who do you think would like you when your face is so swollen? Also, if one member ignores you, it might be that person's problem. But if all 6 of them ignore you, can't you reflect on yourself? With such an unlikable personality, if it weren't for me, would you be where you are today? Xiang Yi raised her eyebrows. Is this considered verbal violence? Then came a clear but downcast male voice. Sorry, I practiced too late last night and accidentally drank half a glass of water. Why are you practicing dancing? You can't possibly return to that lousy group. Do you understand? No one will like you if you go back. You guys can't possibly have stage performances either. Are there any singing shows in the country? Besides, do you really think that those fools will tolerate you? Jiang Chun, you're already different from them. They need to look up to you. Please don't say that, the young man protested softly. They are all very good people. Forget it. I have nothing to say to you. Remember to walk the red carpet with Qin Wanyan later. I've already prepared the announcement. Don't disappoint me. A few seconds later, the sound of high heels on the ground gradually faded away. The youth outside the door sobbed for a while. Suddenly, there was the sound of something heavy falling to the ground. Xiang Yi didn't like to meddle in other people's business, but she was worried that there might be an accident, so she decisively opened the door. Jiang Chun fell onto the ground. He didn't pass out, but his face was frighteningly pale. While he was in a trance, he felt his wrist being touched by his soft and warm fingertips for a moment. Then, a milk candy was stuffed into his mouth. So sweet! He lifted his eyes. In the dim light, the girl in front of him seemed to be holding a handful of bright stars, calmly and indifferently looking at him. Chapter 123. I've checked your pulse. It should be hypoglycemia. Where do you feel uncomfortable? Dizzy? Nausea? Her gentle tone was full of patience. Jiang Chun struggled to stand up. Leaning against the wall, he thanked her weakly. I'm fine. Thank you, sister. Speaking of which, he had started his career earlier than Xiang Yi, but he was only 19 years old. Xiang Yi liked this kind of polite and good-looking kid. She asked, do you want to take a rest in this dressing room? She added, you're alone. I won't go in. After all, she still had the reputation of ruining little fresh meats for no reason. Jiang Chun obviously knew about the rumors. He looked a little embarrassed. No, it's an old problem. I don't want to trouble you. Xiang Yi nodded slightly. Okay, take care of yourself. Then she really didn't want to continue to care about him. Lifting her skirt, she walked into the dressing room slowly. Jiang Chun had an inexplicable feeling. He called out to Xiangyi, "Sister, do you have any more candy?" Because of the recording of Heartbeat, his agent had been complaining that he looked fat in the live broadcast. He hadn't eaten anything these days. At night, he would even squeeze some time to exercise and practice dancing. He was afraid that he would faint again at the annual meeting. Xiangyi took out some candy from her bag and gave it to him. Soft candy, fruit candy, chocolate, everything. She liked children, so she always had candy with her. But lately, she seemed to have been using it to coax her big friends. Jiang Chun stroked the edge of the candy wrapper and said in a low voice, "Thank you." He wasn't a good talker. He had always been passive in social situations, but at that moment, he started to find something to talk about. "Sister, are you a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner?" "Just a little bit." The girl's bright eyes fell on him. Her long eyelashes blinked. She saw through Jiang Chen's uneasiness and said, "Shall I get a chair for you?" Jiang Chun was obviously relieved, but the next second, he lowered his head, feeling ashamed. He felt extremely conflicted. He was afraid of having a scandal with Xiangyi, but he couldn't help but want to rely on her like a chick. But Xiangyi didn't seem to care. She brought a chair with a back for him, and even gave him a cute pillow from An'an. At the end of the corridor, where no one was paying attention to, the voice-activated light went off. It was dim and hazy. Xiangyi didn't talk to him anymore. It was very quiet, but Jiang Chun felt extremely safe. He pinched the pillow. It was soft and warm. The rich, milky fragrance blossomed on the tip of his tongue, and the dizziness faded away. His vision and physical strength began to slowly recover. He couldn't help but sneak a peek at the dressing room. The door was half open, and he could vaguely see the girl's skirt dragging on the ground. It was like the red freesia that his mother raised in his hometown, looking at the brightest and most brilliant when it bloomed. She was different from the rumors. In fact, he only needed to use a little force to push the door open, and he would be able to clearly see what Xiangyi was doing. Playing with mobile phones? In a daze? Touch up her makeup? However, the light in Jiang Chen's eyes only shone for a moment before it dimmed down again. When An'an came to pick up Xiangyi, Jiang Chun had already left. A few pieces of candy wrappers were placed neatly on the cushion as if they were standing in a military posture, as if they had obsessive-compulsive disorder. In a nanny van, An'an was holding Xiangyi's handbag for her. Feeling that the bag was constantly vibrating, he hurried to take out the phone inside. "My dear, is there someone who's looking for you urgently?" Xiangyi swiped the screen. A text message from an unknown contact. She clicked it open. It was a picture of Xiao Naofu. There were exactly 9 of them. There were also 2 text messages. "It's very obedient. It's watching the live broadcast in my arms." Chapter 124. A text message from Zai Zai. Xiangyi looked at the photos one by one, her eyebrows curving into a smile. It seems that this man and cat are getting along quite well. "Who is it?" An'an leaned over to take a look and shrieked in shock. "When did you and Shui become so close? Isn't he famous for keeping his distance?" Xiangyi, "No, I think Senior has a good temper and is easy to get along with." An'an, "Have all my years of experience been wasted?" In the manner, Li Jinyu was still worried about today's livestream content. "Daddy, sure. What are you going to livestream later? Why don't you cook too? I remember you know how to cook noodles or something." The lowly Li Jinyu was so engrossed in eating live streams that he almost forgot that he was a variety show director. Shui said in a lazy voice, "Not interested." "Then what are you going to do?" "Pet the cat and watch the live stream." Without Xiangyi around, a certain Shui began to become passive. "Why don't you live stream while I watch?" "Li Jinyu, where did the extremely cooperative Daddy Sure from 2 days ago go? Why is he so rebellious today?" However, he thought about it and felt that it was a good idea. He made up his mind and said, "Okay, I'll live stream if you dare to watch." A few minutes later, the live stream of 2 Under One Roof began. The netizens entered happily, especially the Shui sisters. When they heard that Xiangyi wasn't around today, they were so happy that they wanted to set off firecrackers. Who would have thought? The man in a gray satin shirt stroked the white kitten in his arms with his slender and pale fingers. He had changed into a pair of gold-rimmed glasses with a chain today, which made his eyebrows look even deeper and his nose bridge looked even more straight. He looked like a medieval noble gentleman, with a touch of indifference in his indifference and abstinence. However, when he smiled at the camera, his peach blossom eyes looked extremely affectionate. "Good evening. Shall we watch the live stream together?" The comments in the live stream were flooding in quickly. What kind of demonic scum is this? I'm done. Another day where I want to transmigrate into Xiao Naofu's body. Speaking of which, Xiao Naofu is so obedient today. Am I seeing things? Why is the tablet on the table showing the live broadcast of Tomato Entertainment's annual meeting? Sure isn't someone who likes to gossip, right? Could it be that he's watching the annual party live stream because of the little vase? At the hotel entrance, the cheers of the fans came from a front. It seemed that the red carpet show had begun. Nan hurriedly clicked on a live stream. The first few people to appear on a live stream were either new artists or those who were not very popular. There were not many comments in the live stream. It was only when Lee, who had a neutral hairstyle and short hair, appeared that the comments section began to heat up. Wow, Lee is so cool. A model's background is indeed different. Even walking the red carpet is like walking on stage. Sister is indeed the darling of the fashion world. This wide-shouldered suit is the latest autumn collection from a certain luxury brand. Then Lin Jia appeared. When Anan saw her, it was as if he had been injected with chicken blood. It's this little vixen. She's so scheming. She even changed the dress to a low-cut one. The sparkling champagne-colored mermaid dress wrapped around Lin Jia's charming curves, and a live broadcast suddenly became lively. F***CK. I like this sister. Is Lin Jia's figure so good? I'm so envious of her figure. Why is her flesh so plump? I have a feeling that the vase fairy's skinny and slender type will be killed in seconds. Chapter 125. Immediately afterward, the members of the boy group C7 walked on the red carpet. From left to right, there were 6 of them. Jiang Chun was not among them. Fans of the group were at each other's throats. It could be described as a bloodbath. Oh yeah, Chun Zai. Well done. Don't walk the red carpet with those idiots. This small group really has no soul left. I'm crying. Tomato Entertainment's director. Can you stop making fun of them? I'm so angry. Jiang Chun, when are you going to stop hurting the rest of C7? Please make a solo debut and let the other kids go. It's obviously the other 6 who are leeching off our brother Jiang Chen's popularity like vampires. Where did they get the nerve to scold him? So they pick up their bowls to eat, then put them down and start cursing? When passers-by saw the war of word between the fans, they instinctively didn't have a good impression of C7. After all, the fans' actions were ultimately paid for by their idols. However, the atmosphere in the 2 under one roof live stream was poles apart. Sure Sui wasn't paying attention to the live stream at all. Instead, he was teasing Xiao Naofu the entire time. He took out Xiao Naofu's favorite dried fish and waved it in front of the soft white cat's eyes. When the dried fish moved to the left, Xiao Naofu looked to the left. When the dried fish moved to the right, Xiao Naofu looked to the right. Do you want to eat? Sure Sui asked lazily. Meow. Xiao Naofu pretended to be well-behaved. Sure Sui reached out to it. Shake hands. Xiao Naofu. Damn it, this ho-ho doesn't eat handouts. Xiao Naofu remained unmoved. Sure Sui smiled and pretended to put the dried fish back into the sealed bag. Xiao Naofu. Whoa, this stupid woman wouldn't do this to me. She would even break the dried fish into pieces and feed it to this ho-ho. This stinky man is so bad. The comments in the live stream. Xiao Naofu is a foodie. Is Shuringi training Xiao Naofu like a dog? How can you bear to bully such a cute kitten? Let me feed it. Xiao Naofu felt wronged and helpless, but it wanted to eat. She could only reluctantly reach out her pink paw and touch Sure Sui's palm perfunctorily. Sure Sui fed a dried fish, pinched the back of its neck, and praised, "Good boy, Xiao Naofu is the smartest." Xiao Naofu bit into the dried fish and proudly raised its chin. This ho-ho is just that outstanding. Sure Sui took out another dried fish and gave a new order roll. F***CKU. For the sake of dried fish. I'll endure it. The cute kitten rolled around in his arms. Unable to control herself, her face fell onto the man's straight and long thighs. She tried to roll half a circle, and this time, she finally succeeded. Her belly was facing the sky, and her little head was facing the sky. However, her claws accidentally hooked onto the corner of the man's satin shirt, revealing the outline of his thin waist and abdomen. The netizens exclaimed, F***CK. For a moment, she didn't know if she should be envious of Shurindi for having a cat to rub. I should be envious that Xiao Naofu can roll around on Shurindi's lap. The next second, Shui chuckled and said, Xiao Naofu, why don't you bark? I'll reward you with double the amount of dried fish. Xiao Naofu's icy blue eyes instantly widened. Are you the devil? The live stream was going crazy with laughter. Ha ha ha, Shui is probably only 10 years old. Xiao Naofu. Although not a real person, you're a real dog. Oh my god, I love this ruffian Shurindi too. I can't resist the charm of a mature man. Li Jinyu couldn't stand it anymore and reminded her, Teacher Shui, have you forgotten that you're still watching the live stream? Coincidentally, it was Qin Wanyan's turn to appear on the red carpet. Chapter 126. Amidst the misty rain, Qin Wanyan appeared. The spotlights kept flashing as they aimed at Qin Wanyan. Her chestnut-colored hair was slightly curled, and she wore an exquisite crown headband on top of her head with diamonds in the shape of stars. The most stunning thing about her was her dress. It was a long dress that gradually changed from silver to blue. It was covered with a thin layer of gauze on the outside, and the tiny diamonds sparkled like a river of stars. It was so beautiful that it was suffocating. "Aw, Fairy Qin Wanyan!" The screams of the fans broke through the clouds, loud enough for all the viewers in the live stream to hear. The number of comments in the live stream increased visibly. Wow, it's really a fairy. Sister, you've worked hard in the mortal world. Book the red carpet tonight. The moon won't come for you, but Fairy Qin will come for you. Qin Wanyan's facial expression was outstanding. Even though it was raining, she still smiled brightly. She walked to the front of the signature board and signed her name in a fluid motion. The meticulously designed handwriting was light and elegant, and there were even more people praising her in the live stream. Wooly, Fairy Qin is so talented. Even her handwriting is ethereal. This dress is so beautiful. I can feel it sparkling with every movement. Thinking of the Vase Fairy's cheap red dress, the fairy's outfit is a huge blow to the Vase Fairy. Why isn't Sister walking the red carpet with Jiangchun? They're clearly an on-screen couple. Although the viewership of Heartbeat wasn't as high as Two Under One Roof, it was still very popular. Furthermore, due to the main theme of the show being romance-oriented and the guests bringing up their own topics of discussion, the fans of the various shows had already torn each other apart. Jiangchun's popularity was there for all to see. Even though he and Qin Wanyan didn't feel like a couple, they still managed to attract a group of fans. Jiangchun's girlfriend fans were very aggressive, and they started tearing apart the couple fans on the spot. It's just a variety show effect. Can a certain female artist stop deceiving herself? Qin Wanyan is 5 years older than Chunzai, okay? She's an old woman. She won't let Chunzai go. Fans of the couple crawl. Jiangchun is the most popular actor in his career. Don't be like our little brother. Due to the huge number of female fans, the couple fans were outnumbered. Soon, no one in the streaming room dared to pair Jiangchun and Qin Wanyan up. In the nanny van, the agent was yelling at Jiangchun. Are you deaf or retarded? I told you to walk the red carpet with Qin Wanyan. Now that you've grown up, you won't even listen to me anymore, right? Let me tell you, without me, you are nothing. I can help you reach the top, but I can also make you fall into the mud. The agent scolded Jiangchun fiercely, but Jiangchun didn't respond. In any case, he was already used to it. This kind of verbal violence was something he had to endure all the time. Seeing his stubborn look, the agent was so angry that he wanted to slap him. She was bribed by Qin Wanyan's manager. Now that things were messed up, wouldn't she have to spit out all the money? Just thinking about it was like cutting her flesh. As a matter of fact, she didn't have much ability. It was pure luck that she had managed to raise Jiangchun, who had made a fortune. Taking advantage of Jiang Chen's easygoing personality, she brainwashed him every day. She had made a lot of money from him. In her opinion, Jiang Chen was her possession, and he had to listen to her completely. The agent rolled her shrewd but unscrupulous eyes and coaxed Jiang Chen, later at the annual meeting, interact more with Qin Wanyan. I can help you plead with the leaders to let you leave C7. How about that? Isn't that your wish? Jiang Chen, who had been numb all this time, finally moved. Chapter 127. As Qin Wanyan disappeared from everyone's sight, her fans were still reminiscing about her stunning appearance. That dress is so beautiful. I must buy one as long as I'm alive. Her skin is so good too. I feel like she's even thinner and fairer in person. Did you hear the commotion caused by those celebrities taking pictures of Qin Wanyan just now? I really understand the term cameras now. The sound of the shutter clicking. The live stream was also filled with flattery, and Qin Wanyan's fans felt extremely honored. Does anyone have any objections to Goddess Qin's stunning appearance tonight? Apart from the seniors, Jiang Chun and the Vase Fairy are the only ones of the younger generation who haven't left, right? I just saw the order of the red carpet released by Tomato Entertainment. It seems like Jiang Chun and Qin Wanyan were supposed to walk together. That's not right. Why am I seeing the Vase Fairy's manager? Is she next? We're in for a good show. This order of appearance is great. Appearing after Qin Wanyan isn't just stunning, it's simply crushing her. Anen got out of the car and carefully opened a black umbrella before opening the door. Tomato Entertainment was obviously trying to stir up trouble. The cameraman in charge of the live stream immediately rushed forward and deliberately took a close-up shot of the car door. One of the fans at the scene shouted, "Demon, show yourself." Laughter rang out everywhere, and the live stream began to mock her without restraint. The next second, what came into view was a pair of sparkling silver high heels. Her fair ankles were exquisite, and they were blocked by the trailing skirt in a flash. Xiangyi leaned out of the car. Her wine-red spaghetti strap dress was embellished with sequins, and her skin was as white and dense as cream. Her frame was slender but not overly skinny. Her straight shoulders and swan-like neck outlined the beautiful curves of a young girl. Her black hair was tied up, but it wasn't tied into a rigid bun. Instead, it was casually wrapped with a printed silk scarf, with a few strands of hair scattered around her collarbone, looking lazy and casual. She didn't put on heavy makeup, and her foundation was clean and clear. Her orange-colored eye makeup looked like it was sprinkled with the most gorgeous colors of the sunset. Her eye sockets were lightly applied with sequins, which complemented her dress and made her face look exceptionally bright and beautiful. Xiangyi nodded slightly to express her gratitude to her manager who was holding the umbrella. Her bright eyes happened to meet the camera of the live broadcast. Xiangyi, who had a few days of live streaming experience, already had a good sense for the camera. Her red lips curled up slightly, and a smile bloomed on her face. Everyone, the netizens in the live stream, were speechless. The comments section instantly exploded. F*CK? F*CK? Everyone's vocabulary was at its lowest at this moment, but as if they were bewitched, they stared unblinkingly at the girl on the screen. The fan who shouted, "Let's go live," looked as if he had seen a ghost, but he was also full of shock. The noisy scene fell silent in an instant, until Jiang Chan didn't go anywhere after getting out of the car. Instead, he strode toward Xiangyi and bent down to lift her skirt, whispering, "Sister, be careful." Only then did Xiangyi realize that there was a selfie stick in front of her. She didn't know if it was dropped by a fan or someone had done it on purpose. If she tripped, she would probably become the biggest joke of the night. Xiangyi tilted her head slightly, her eyebrows slightly curved. "Thank you, little brother." The silent scene erupted with earth-shattering screams. Chapter 128. There's so many comments in the stream that there was a pause. Who said the Vase Fairy is ugly? What kind of peerless fairy is she? For the first time, I don't think the term Vase Fairy is derogatory. Can an ugly person be called a vase? Is this a prearranged script? A top celebrity personally lifting her skirt. Even a novel wouldn't dare write this. Is there anyone who can read lips? What did Chen Zai and his sister say just now? Ah, top celebrity X, 18th tier female star. Ah, there's another weird couple. Flowers bloom in the hope that you will last forever. It's hard to find flowers when you're idle. Thousands of flowers are hard to look at. Sister is a fairy in a bottle. The description of a fairy in a bottle is perfect. Sister Yee's fans are giving me envious looks. You guys are so good at praising. In reality, Jiang Chun didn't realize what he was doing until later. He wasn't afraid of being scolded, but he didn't want to implicate Xiangyi. His mind working quickly, the teenager lifted her skirt and stepped over the obstacle. Only then did he raise his arm and carefully ask, "Sister, do you want to walk the red carpet with me?" If he had taken the initiative, perhaps everyone would have scolded him alone. Xiangyi didn't care. She had always thought walking the red carpet was just a formality. Since Jiang Chun had invited her, and she didn't hate him, she took his arm. The fan screamed even louder. The combination of a handsome man and a beautiful woman was too lethal. Jiang Chun in a black suit and Xiangyi in a spaghetti strap red dress were a perfect match. Surprisingly, the two's temperament was also very compatible. Jiang Chun had a stoic face. Although he was handsome, it was inevitable that he would appear cold and unapproachable, making him seem out of reach. But next to the gentle and cheerful Xiangyi, he was like a stream during the melting season. His entire being seemed to soften. In the manner, when Qin Wanyan appeared, Shi Sui looked up and glanced at her. She then looked away with a lack of interest and continued to pinch Xiao Naofu's face. Xiao Naofu was angry, but didn't dare say anything. It was extremely aggrieved. The bullet screen was filled with laughter. Xiao Naofu, I'm willing written all over my face. JPG, brother, my face is soft and easy to pinch. Come and pinch my face. Instead of dreaming, why don't you find a master to perform a ritual and see if you can possess Xiao Naofu? For Shi Sui's sisters, they were satisfied to see Shi Sui. Even though Shi Sui didn't talk much and just played with the cat, they enjoyed it. Hey, teacher Xiangyi is out. Unknowingly, Li Jinyu had moved closer to Shi Sui. His smile was that of an old father looking at his youngest daughter. He even imitated the tone of a fan's voice and said to Shi Sui, "Please, Shi Sui, take a look at our beautiful sister. It's not a loss to invest in little sister." Bullet screen. The director's online head massaging is still okay. Just when everyone thought that Shi Sui wouldn't respond to Li Jinyu's teasing, the man raised his narrow eyes and looked at the tablet. The screen happened to show Xiangyi smiling at the camera. The man, who had been dispirited, suddenly curled his thin lips and said in a sultry and flirtatious voice, "Sister is quite pretty." Shi Sui's smile is killing me. Then, Shi Sui saw Jiang Chun rush over to lift Xiangyi's skirt. Then, the little girl took his arm and the two walked down the red carpet together. The man was about to feed Xiao Naofu some dried fish when he suddenly took it back. Xiao Naofu was puzzled and confused. Meow, meow, meow. I'm hungry, I want to eat dried fish. The man's cold and strict voice sounded in the cat's ears. No, you're not hungry. Xiao Naofu, Shi Sui, can you be a human? Chapter 129. On the red carpet, Xiangyi and Jiang Chun weren't like the other artists who were frantically dragging their feet. Apart from Jiang Chun stopping for a few seconds in the middle to bow to his fans to express his gratitude, the two had reached the end of the red carpet in the blink of an eye. Jiang Chun signed his name and added a wavy cartoon at the end. This was the signature of every member of C7. The fans in the live stream were so excited that they were about to cry. It's the C7 logo. Chun Chun has a group in his heart. The loyal fans were upset, but since it was their son who had signed it, they couldn't say anything. In fact, it was Tomato Entertainment who didn't allow Jiang Chun to leave the group, nor did they allow him to return to the group. It was Jiang Chun who had been stuck in the middle and had to bear the resentment of both fans and teammates. It was all for the sake of creating a topic of discussion. After all, it was still a topic of discussion. Wouldn't it be great to earn money from both the group and loyal fans? The hostess in charge of handing out the pen didn't even look at Jiang Chun as she stared straight at Xiangyi. The girl was so fair that she seemed to glow. Her whiteness was natural, unlike Qin Wanyan, who looked quite fair from afar. but up close, even her limbs were covered in foundation. Xiangyi took the golden pin from her and thanked her softly. Her tone was polite and soft, making the hostess's heart skip a beat. Oh, what kind of heavenly voice is this? Xiangyi didn't use the cursive signature she had designed before and just casually wrote her name on the signature board. His strokes were forceful yet casual, natural and smooth, as if they were formed by nature. This handwriting instantly stunned the netizens. F*CK, is this semi-cursive? Respect. The little vase's handwriting is so beautiful. There's no harm if there's no comparison. Compared to other people's scribbles, this girl's handwriting is like a clear stream. Even Jiang Chun couldn't help but take a few more glances at Xiangyi's handwriting. He had been sent by his family to be a trainee when he was in middle school. He had practiced his signature before, so it looked very natural. In fact, his handwriting looked like a primary school student's. Sister is amazing, Jiang Chun thought to himself. A gust of wind blew, and the hostess sneezed from the cold. She had been standing here for too long, and her hands and feet were already cold. Xiangyi placed the pin back on the tray in her hands and pulled off the scarf that was wrapped around her hair. Her fine black hair cascaded down elegantly like a waterfall. She draped the scarf over the shoulders of the attendant and nimbly tied a knot with her fair hands. Go home and cook some brown sugar ginger soup tonight. Be careful not to catch a cold. It's been hard on you. The hostess. Her eyes were filled with surprise as she stuttered. Thank you. Thank you. Whoa, why is he so gentle? It was only after Xiangyi had walked far away that she suddenly regained her senses. How is she going to return the scarf? Bullet comments in the live stream. I can replay that scene 100 times. This must be a girl's gentle charm. I'm being seduced. She's not going to play the role of a retard and is going to play the role of a gentle person? Disgusting. It's obvious that this was arranged beforehand. At the venue, according to the name tag, Xiangyi sat in the seat arranged by the company. The staff probably wanted to stir up some trouble, so they deliberately arranged the most talked-about female artists together. From left to right, they were Mo Li, Lin Jia, Xiangyi, and Qin Wanyan. As soon as the other three female artists saw Xiangyi's outfit, their faces stiffened. The cameraman in charge of the live stream even gave them a panoramic view. Suddenly, a godly comment appeared in the live stream. This is simply Queen Xiangyi and her maids. Chapter 130. Someone even took a screenshot of this comment and posted it on Weibo. Soon, it was reposted by a funny blogger, and the internet was instantly filled with laughter. Qin Wanyan and the other two's expressions are so funny. It's a vivid interpretation of what it means to eat a fly. Ha. Probably everyone wants to be the center of attention, but in the end, they were killed by Black Swan in a split second. Seriously, the Suspender Skirt sisters' looks and temperament are amazing. As we all know, there's a big gap between an internet celebrity and a celebrity. The gap between her and the other three is like the gap between a celebrity and a socialite. The description of a socialite is too apt. The little Vase's family is the real deal. That calm and gentle temperament isn't something an average person can have. Fortunately, the cameraman quickly went to take pictures of Jiang Chun and the C7 boy group. The atmosphere in the live broadcast room changed abruptly as they began to tear each other apart. Mo Li and Xiangyi had never crossed paths before, so they greeted each other indifferently. Lin Jia, on the other hand, had been at odds with Xiangyi for a long time. After playing with her phone for a while, she said sarcastically, Xiangyi, do you know what the netizens say about you? They say you're a vase. Aren't they indirectly saying you're shallow? Xiangyi said indifferently, aren't they saying I'm good-looking? Lin Jia was dumbfounded. Are you a logical genius? She ground her teeth. But some people say you only know how to seduce men with your face. Even Jiang Chun was bewitched by you, which means, Xiangyi, yeah, I'm good-looking. Lin Jia's eyes widened, her fake eyelashes frighteningly long. What are you so proud of? So what if you're good-looking? Xiangyi, thank you, you flatter me. Lin Jia's face turned green with anger, but she couldn't find any words to refute. Qin Wanyan secretly scolded her for being so stupid. She was choked by a few words. However, Xiangyi was a little strange. She had become sharp-tongued. She chose her words carefully and asked softly, "Dear, I've sent you so many messages. Why haven't you replied to any of them? I haven't been using my phone much recently. My phone number and social media account have been switched back to the original one. The one who occupied her body didn't have her memories, so she couldn't unlock her phone or log into her account. Everything was new." Xiangyi quickly transmigrated back and changed her phone number and account number back. Qin Wanyan already knew about this excuse from Yin Nai, but she didn't believe it at all. How could anyone not use electronic devices these days? She held Xiangyi's hand affectionately. "You're not even close to me anymore. My dear, do you have any misunderstandings about me? I heard that you lost your memory. I was so worried about you." Xiangyi calmly pulled her hand away. She didn't like to have any physical contact with strangers. "I'm sorry. I don't remember anything from the past year." Her attitude was distant, but her etiquette was flawless. Even if Qin Wanyan wanted to make a fuss about it, she couldn't. "Then let's add each other as friends." Qin Wanyan decided to play along with her for now. Anyway, with Xiangyi's brain, she would still be fooled by her in the end. "I still won't be the best sister in the world with you," Emily suddenly said. "Xiangyi, let's add each other as friends too?" Xiangyi wasn't keen on socializing, but she didn't reject it either. She casually added the two of them. Lin Jia, who felt left out, said in a huff, "Don't even think about adding me. Even if you do, you'll be on my blacklist." Xiangyi looked down and said, "Oh, Lin Jia." Chapter 131. Lin Jia waited for a long time, but Xiangyi didn't say a single word. She had more question marks on her head. Shouldn't she say something polite at a time like this? But Xiangyi was sitting calmly, her swan-like neck and shoulders forming a beautiful arc. She looked straight ahead calmly. "Lin Jia, you're really not going to add me?" She suddenly felt like she was being left out. By then, almost everyone had arrived. It was the annual meeting, and without exception, the big boss and the small boss had to give a speech. There were a few performances in between, all of which were performed by their own artists, so labor fees were saved. Xiangyi flipped through the program list out of boredom and found that the last performance was a singing and dancing performance by Jiang Chen's male group. Suddenly, her phone vibrated. She looked down. It was a message from Nan. "Nan, sweetheart, Nan, crying." Jif Xiangyi sent a question mark over. Nan, boo-hoo, I'm in a bathroom, but there's no more toilet paper. Sweetheart, I'm willing to go to your house every day to wash the dishes, sweep the floor, raise pigs, and collect eggs. Nan, don't tell anyone it's me. I don't want to be the dumbest agent in the company. Xiangyi. She raised her hand to her forehead, speechless. If it was a guy, she only knew Jiang Chen. She glanced in Jiang Chen's direction and found that he wasn't in his seat. Where'd he go? Forget it. She'd better go in person. Xiangyi left quietly. In the bathroom, when Xiangyi arrived, a cleaner happened to be there. She asked someone to go in and rescue Nan, while she sat on a rattan chair in the corner of the balcony in a daze. She had never been interested in events like banquets since she was a child. She planned to ask Nan if she could sneak out early when he came out. She didn't know if the cat and the man had eaten yet. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of high heels clicking on the ground could be heard. The person stopped on the balcony. With the green plants as a barrier, she did not notice Xiangyi in the corner. She directly scolded the young man in front of her. Are you out of your mind? I told you to walk the red carpet with Qin Wanyan, but you didn't listen. I told you to interact with her, but you still didn't listen. You even went to lift that *TCH's dress. Why are you so annoying? Without you, would she have died or become crippled? A familiar but weak male voice sounded. Sister Ling, please don't say that. Xiangyi raised her eyebrows. She should check the almanac before going out today. Was it written that it was suitable for eating melons? Moreover, he seemed to be the one eating it. The agent called Sister Ling sneered. Why can't I say it? Don't be bewitched. How could she compare to a single strand of Qin Wanyan's hair? Look at how she's dressed today. She's only wearing a spaghetti strap, showing off her figure so much. I think she wants to slit her top all the way up to her neck. Why do you think she's qualified to appear on a variety show with Shurindi? Who knows? He might have slept with all of them. Enough. Jiang Chan raised his head and looked straight at her. Due to the fear he had accumulated over a long period of time, his voice was trembling, but he was very angry. Not talking about others behind their backs is the most basic courtesy slap. A crisp slap rang in Jiang Chen's face, making his ears ring. How can you talk to me like that? How can you talk to me like that? Have you forgotten who you are? Jiang Chen clenched his fist, but he endured it out of habit. Sister Ling was very pleased. She felt that she had successfully trained Jiang Chen. He didn't even dare to resist. He was more obedient than a dog. The next second, Motherf asterisk Ker, UB asterisk TSH. Hi Chui. Out of nowhere, a man who hadn't even pulled up his pants properly rushed over and spat a mouthful of saliva right in her face. Chapter 132. Sister Ling screamed, ah. Jiang Chun was stunned, especially when he saw On Nan's gaudy beach-style underwear. The young man awkwardly turned his face away. Sister Ling was wearing a dress today and didn't have any tissues in it. She used her hands to rub it a few times and was disgusted. She screamed like crazy. On Nan? Are you crazy? They were all managers of the same company. Although there was a difference in status, they still knew each other. Anand put his hands on his hips, his hair standing on end. Who told you to have such a cheap mouth? You deserve it. If you dare to say anything bad about our sweetheart, I'll spit you to death. I can't outflame the netizens, but you think I can outflame you? Xiang Yi, who was still unnoticed in the corner, was speechless. This was probably a physical attack, right? Sister Ling's expression changed, but she quickly denied it. Who did I scold? Do you have proof? Using violence against a colleague. I'll go ask the boss to fire you right now. Anand's eyes widened. He didn't think she could be so shameless. She even made a false accusation. So he was Sister's manager. Jiang Chun pursed his lips. Sister Ling, forget it. He was just angry. Sister Ling looked at him with contempt. You're just a clay Buddha, and you want to protect others. Anand was furious. Fine, then I'll also complain. I'll say you hit Jiang Chun. You're so arrogant that you even hit an artist. In Anand's mind, of course his artist had to be spoiled. Although he was just a weak and inexperienced manager, he knew that the first thing he had to protect was the artist's interests. This was the most basic professional ethics. Sister Ling was disdainful. Who do you think will believe you? Where's the proof? Can you produce it? Isn't this a witness? Anand looked at Jiang Chun. The young man's expression froze, and he avoided his gaze in shame. Anand immediately knew what was going on. This probably wasn't the first time, nor would it be the last. Although he looked like a top celebrity, he was actually just a child. It wasn't surprising that he was caught, but he didn't expect Sister Ling to be so shameless. Anand gritted his teeth. So you're going to report me? What? Scared? Sister Ling was very proud. Why don't you kneel down and I'll consider giving you a chance. Kneel! Anand hesitated. Sister Ling's lips curled up. In fact, even if Anand knelt before her, she would still complain. She was just teasing him now. However, her smile froze in a few seconds. Anand rushed forward and grabbed her hair. I'll kneel before your mother's ashes. Okay. After giving birth to such an idiot like you, isn't the grass on your mother's grave already a few meters long? Oh, right. Let me emphasize that I'm insulting your mother here, not your biological mother. The old lady is so innocent. She's just an illusory spiritual existence that I've imagined. She only exists in this catfight and only represents your father's disappointment in you. Sister Ling? Let go of me, you damn gay. B asterisk TSH. Are you even a man? Hee. Are you even human? Anand knew that when fighting with a woman, he had to take the initiative to pull her hair. Sister Ling wanted to pull him back, but it was too late. She was in so much pain that tears came out. Jiang Chun was watching from the side, completely dumbfounded. Sister Ling came back to her senses and shouted, Jiang Chun, why aren't you helping me? Are you F asterisk king bullying me because I can't call for help? Anand was anxious. Suddenly, a gentle and soft voice entered his ears. Coming, Anand. Chapter 133. Why does this sound like our sweetheart's voice? Anand turned his stiff neck and looked at Xiang Yi in the corner of the balcony. The girl smiled faintly and waved at him. Anand! He let go of Sister Ling in 1 second, took a few steps back in 2 seconds, and put his hands behind his back in 3 seconds. He pretended to be a good boy. She was the one who started it. Sister Ling, with her face full of saliva and messy hair, was dumbfounded. For the first time in her life, she experienced what it meant to be the guilty party complaining first. She shouted at Jiang Chun in exasperation. "What are you waiting for? Are you just going to watch me get beaten up?" Without waiting for Jiang Chun to respond, Anand said, "Little brother Jiang Chun, I advise you not to provoke our sweetheart who can kill a 200-pound pig with a knife." "Xiangyi, do I not care about my face?" She lifted her skirt and stood up. Her skirt rippled in a beautiful arc. She walked forward lazily and raised her eyebrows at Jiang Chun. Jiang Chun immediately understood and coughed. "I didn't see anything, Sister Ling." "Jiang Chun, how dare you treat me like this?" Sister Ling shouted and screamed again. Xiangyi's expression didn't change. She pulled Sister Ling's hair all the way to the sink and pressed her head in. Then she turned the tap to the maximum. Ah! The girl's actions were smooth and casual. She even reminded him lazily, "Anand, cover your brother's eyes. It's not good for children to see this." Anand, Jiang Chun. The short few seconds felt like an eternity to Sister Ling. The cold water, the biggest current, made her feel like she was about to die. She reluctantly put on a fierce expression and said, "Xiangyi, do you still want to stay in the circle? Aren't you afraid of news of an artist being violent?" Xiangyi said indifferently, "Where's the evidence?" Sister Ling was stunned. She suddenly realized that there were no cameras in the washroom, and this washroom was in a remote area. There was probably no one else inside. Even if there was, who would record a video or audio? Without concrete evidence, her words alone could not be used as evidence. Sister Ling glared at Jiang Chun fiercely, suspecting that Jiang Chun and Xiangyi had colluded to torture her. When Jiang Chun realized this, his handsome face turned extremely pale. Actually, he wasn't afraid of Sister Ling threatening to ban or freeze him. What he was afraid of was Sister Ling hurting C7's players and fans again and again. This time, he had vented his anger. But so what? He still couldn't get rid of the nightmarish existence of Sister Ling. Sizzle. The faint sound of electric current was accompanied by static, but soon, a conversation could be heard. "Are you out of your mind? Maybe you slept with everyone." Sister Ling stared at Xiangyi in shock. The girl's tone was still indifferent. "I recorded it while I was at it. Are you surprised?" Sister Ling shivered from the cold and started to panic. Jiang Chun was easy to manipulate because he was kind-hearted. Besides, he had been sent to be a trainee since he was a child. He was as pure as a blank piece of paper. He hadn't thought of recording or video recording at all. Anand was pleasantly surprised. "Bitch, if you show this to the boss, let's see how you can continue to be Jiang Chen's manager." Jiang Chun was also excited, but he heard the girl's lips curl up, her eyes sharp. "Why do you want to show it to the boss? Wouldn't it be better to show it to the fans?" "Hey, you should know the fandom better than me. Internet violence, human flesh. TSK, you're already scared after shaking like that?" Chapter 134. Sister Ling was shaking like a sieve, not sure if it was because of the cold or the fear. Xiangyi was still describing to her. If the fans knew that their favorite idol not only had to endure verbal abuse at all times, but he would also get beaten up at the slightest disagreement, how angry do you think they would be? Exclamation point. Sister Ling's fear was getting deeper and deeper. "Let me guess what you've been threatening Jiang Chun about. Future? Teammates?" The girl was clearly smiling, but there was no warmth in her eyes. "Do you want to experience the feeling of being threatened in return? If I were him, I wouldn't let you off so easily. I would keep you by my side and slowly torture you." Sister Ling finally couldn't take it anymore, tears streaming down her face. "I was wrong, I know I was wrong. As long as you delete the recording, I'll do anything you want." Xiangyi was unmoved. "You're begging the wrong person." Sister Ling suddenly realized and knelt down in front of Jiang Chun. "Jiang Chun, Chun, I was the one who brought you up until now. Even if I didn't do anything, I still worked hard. I've always treated you like a younger brother. The reason I was strict with you was because I had high expectations for you. Can you let Sister Ling go?" Sister Ling will be your slave in the future. Don't you want to leave the group? I'll help you. I promise I'll help you. Jiang Qin's expression was complicated. His amber eyes flashed with a hint of struggle. Sister Ling said tentatively, "How about you delete the recording first, then we can talk about it." Seeing this, Hanan wanted to persuade Jiang Qin, but was stopped by Xiangyi. "Let him choose," she said calmly. If Jiang Qin really chose to forgive her, then, as a bystander, she had nothing to say. She would just take it as revenge for Annan. The girl's gentle voice was like spring thunder, waking Jiang Qin up. His gaze became firm, and he said coldly, "You go first, I need to think about it." "Qin, go away. Go away immediately." The young man flipped out with red eyes. Sister Ling was scared out of her wits. She was afraid that if she angered him, Jiang Qin would really show the recording to the fans. She nodded and bowed. Okay, I'll go away immediately. I won't be an eyesore here." Sister Ling stumbled and ran away. Jiang Qin took a deep breath. He was exhausted. His calves felt weak. He had to lean against the wall to steady himself. No one had ever experienced his fear, so they couldn't understand how much courage that roar had taken from him. He was extremely ashamed. "Sister, I'm sorry, I'm too weak. I didn't dare and didn't know how to make a decision." The young boy blamed himself and looked helpless. His eyes were wet, and he looked like a little puppy that had been abandoned by the roadside. Annan felt a little sorry for him and tried to share the blame for him. My dear, I'm also at fault. I'm too fierce. I shouldn't have made a move." Xiangyi, it seemed like she was the fiercest one. Why were they apologizing to her one by one? "Ahem, Jiang Qin, I'll send you the recording. If you trust your teammates, you can discuss with them how to solve the problem. Give it to the boss or threaten her. You can choose the most beneficial option. You're very kind, but you still need to have sharp edges when you need to. Only then can you protect yourself. Before you have the sense to sacrifice yourself, I hope you can have self-awareness first. You are the most important person, understand? Also, when you encounter problems, you have to be reasonable first. It's wrong to resort to violence and intimidation like I did just now." Annan scratched his head. "No, it's very satisfying. It's so satisfying." Jiang Qin looked at her with admiration. "Sister, you were so cool just now. Don't you two muddle-headed people have a skewed view of the world?" Xiangyi couldn't help but sigh. I want tickets. Good night. Chapter 135. By the way, brother, don't you still have a show? Xiangyi changed the topic. Jiang Qin reacted, "I'll go back and prepare first." The youth took a few steps forward before stopping. He turned back and looked at Xiangyi. "Will sister come and watch our performance?" With wet eyes and a red handprint on his cheeks, the thin and handsome youth was like a soft cub, making people want to take pity on him. Xiangyi, "Yes, I will. Good luck." Jiang Qin clenched his fists excitedly and promised like a primary school student, "I'll definitely perform well." Xiang's old mother nodded kindly. After sending Jiang Qin off, only Xiangyi and Annan were left in front of the sink. Xiangyi looked at Annan, her red lips moving, but before she could speak, "Annan, I know I was wrong. I really know. I shouldn't have scolded her, shouldn't have hit her." Annan lowered his head and played with his fingers. "Who told her to scold you? Everyone had a scale in their hearts. If Sister Ling had only scolded Jiang Qin today, Annan might have hesitated to speak up. But scolding Xiangyi was something he wouldn't hesitate to do. "Xiangyi, you're mistaken. I'm not blaming you." Annan raised his head and poked Xiangyi's arm. "Really?" "Ooh, my dear, you're really the best person in the world." Xiangyi calmly avoided him. "We didn't wash your hands, did you? I just wanted to remind you to wash your hands. You have to wash your palms and the back of your hands. Rub your hands with soap for 30 seconds. In order to watch C7's performance, Xiangyi, who had wanted to slip away early, had no choice but to return to the venue. As the annual party drew to a close, the host began to announce the performance. The 7 boys waited nervously. It had been a long time since they had performed together, and they didn't have a stage to perform on. This time, although the lighting and sound weren't professional, there was a live broadcast. As long as they performed well, they wouldn't let their fans down. At this moment, The host pressed on his headset and listened attentively for a few seconds before saying in a regretful tone, "Sorry, due to a malfunction in the equipment, there's no way to perform the dance." The fans in the live stream exploded and turned on their microphones passionately. "I've waited so long for this. Tomato Entertainment is trash. Can't bear to spend money on an annual gala? F***CK. Her mentality collapsed. Her brothers had prepared for this stage for a long time. Cry, cry, cry. The 7 boys froze on the spot as if they had been electrocuted. However, the host still tried to save the situation, but he said in a very flirtatious way, "Why don't we send Jiang Chun as our representative to perform a guitar performance? Everyone, what do you think?" Instantly, except for Jiang Chun, the other 6 people looked toward Jiang Chun at the same time. There were complaints, sadness, and even more disappointment. Jiang Chun had put on a layer of foundation to cover the handprint on his face. At that moment, under the illumination of the gorgeous chandelier, he looked even paler. His lips moved as if he wanted to say something, but he was interrupted by the captain. "Forget it. Shut up. We don't need your explanation." The others also avoided Jiang Chun's gaze. At this moment, under such circumstances, they thought the company had colluded with Jiang Chun long ago. First, a wave of fans, then such a flirtatious move. The fans were bound to tear into each other again. This was the value of their existence, right? They were just tools. Chapter 136. The fans in the live stream began to fight amongst themselves. Wow, is C7 having an internal conflict? It's obvious that our Chunzai is being isolated. This small group really doesn't know how to be grateful. What would they be without Chunzai? How dare they treat Chunzai like this? It's clearly Jiang Chun and the company working together to suppress the others. He used C7's popularity as a stepping stone, and now he's trying to distance himself from C7? After 3 years as a group fan, I'm really tired. Forget about the soul of the group. It's like a plate of loose sand now. Woo, our brother is about to cry, and you're still yelling at him. Captain Biss. Wow, Jiang Chun is such a sissy. He's the most pretentious one in the whole team, right? Cry, cry, cry. All he knows is to cry. Disgusting. Jiang Chun instinctively wanted to escape, but he accidentally saw Xiangyi in the crowd. He gritted his teeth and said, "Everyone calm down. I'll go confirm what's wrong with the equipment." The captain looked at him in surprise. Jiang Chun declined the host's invitation and ran to find the staff. Soon, the results came out. It was worse than expected. It was the sound system. Without the sound system, there was no accompaniment. Seeing Jiang Chun so anxious that he was sweating profusely, the captain pursed his lips. "Hey, go solo by yourself. We're fine. We're used to it." It wasn't the first time he had been left out. Jiang Chun, who had always been a man of few words, expressed his thoughts firmly for the first time. "If we're going to do it together, we're a group. Even if we have to sing a cappella, I believe we can do it." The captain and the others were stunned. A cappella? The rapper in the team raised his hand. "I could do b-box. If there's a rhythm, our dance can also be on point." Yes, 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 I can help with the harmony." The vocal director also stepped forward. Perhaps the stage effect would be poor, but they didn't want to give up. The host on stage was still making boring jokes, but the 7 boys below the stage were inexplicably ignited with fighting spirit. Suddenly, a gentle female voice sounded. "I heard there's a problem with the sound system. Do you need accompaniment?" Jiang Chun was pleasantly surprised. "Elder sister." The captain looked at Xiangyi, speechless. He politely but tactfully said, "Sister Xiangyi, I watched your live broadcast. The accompaniment of our song is modern pop music. I'm afraid it will be difficult to blend with traditional folk music." "Folk music?" Xiangyi reacted. "You're talking about the Sanxian, right? But other than the Sanxian, my electric guitar is also passable." C7. From a 3-string song to a punk electric guitar? Isn't the contrast a little too big? Xiangyi smiled without saying anything. Hashtag you never know what skills a fast transmigrator who is bound to the nurse system has learned. Hashtag. Shall we give it a try? The captain asked for everyone's opinion. Jiang Chun was just bragging to his elder sister. "I believe you, elder sister. All right, let's give it a try. Since I'll be scolded no matter what, I might as well give a try. Jiang Chun closed his eyes and started to play again. My sister must be super cool when she plays the guitar. Everyone else, in the live stream, the fans were all confused. What's the vase fairy doing at C7? Shut up. Why are you calling her the vase fairy? Change it to the vase fairy. What kind of superstitious nickname is this? At this moment, the host spoke up. Dear guests and viewers of the live stream, after coordination, C7 will be performing his masterpiece, Focus. The accompaniment will be a Xiangyi? Chapter 137. At that moment, the host even doubted his own hearing. However, the name that came through the headset was indeed Xiangyi's. Everyone present. The netizens in the live stream? What the hell? Xiangyi? Accompaniment? Can these two words be used together? Among the group of female celebrities, Lin Jia was dumbfounded. She looked like a silly girl with her glamorous persona, and the cameraman in charge of the live stream even gave her a close-up. Ah, Lin Jia's expression management has failed again. I have the same expression as this young lady in front of the screen. Xiangyi? Is she the young lady who was praised by the folk music circle for playing the sanxian some time ago? What folk music? When did the vase fairy learn folk music? What kind of talent does she have? Not everyone in the live stream had watched Two Under One Roof, nor had they seen the video of Xiangyi playing the sanxian. In their perception of Xiangyi, she was still a flower vase variety star. When they first heard that she was going to accompany the boy band, it was simply a fantasy. The netizens who knew that Xiangyi could play the sanxian were even more confused. You're a folk musician, yet you're going to accompany a modern dance group? Do you think this is child's play? Or did C7 change their program? Instead of singing and dancing, they're going to perform a group crosstalk? There were various opinions and speculations. The live stream of the annual gala was about to turn into a mystery and detective show. At the manor, Li Jinyu held his face in his hands and said, Our sister E is so good-looking. Oh, electric guitar? So punk. Shi Sui stroked Xiao Naofu and said indifferently, You've got guts, huh? Xiao Naofu felt that its beautiful fur was about to be stroked bald, and the little kitten's face was full of vicissitudes. Thinking of Xiangyi's tai chi and swordsmanship, Li Jinyu shuddered, but he still insisted, Ahem, I'm older than her. What's wrong with calling her sister? Shi Sui chuckled. Come, let me hold Xiao Naofu for a while. Li Jinyu took the soft kitten from him. Xiao Naofu felt as if he had been reborn, his eyes hazy with tears. Roar! This Ohu is finally saved. Ah! Li Jinyu pouted and kissed Xiao Naofu's forehead. Xiao Naofu, ugly thing, your stubble pricked me. So soft. It smells so good. Li Jinyu seemed to have experienced the joy of Xiang Yu's cat cuddling and revealed a wretched uncle smile. Hey, little baby, don't be afraid. Uncle will spoil you, Xiao Naofu. F***CKU. The comments were filled with laughter. Ha ha. Poor Xiao Naofu just escaped the wolf's den and entered the tiger's mouth. Schwa. At the venue of the annual party, the lights went off. When they came back on, two spotlights shone on C7 and Xiangyi. The 7 boys were already in formation. Xiangyi adjusted the loudspeaker and gestured in the direction of the lighting engineer. Everyone was puzzled, but they realized that the spotlight above her head had gone off. What the F***CK? Isn't the vase fairy trying to be in the limelight? Why didn't she turn off the lights? Is she trying to get everyone's attention on C7? That's unbelievable. She must be afraid that she'll embarrass herself if she plays too badly. I'll just quietly watch how she screws her brothers over. The little group has been completely abandoned this time. It's hopeless. They actually let a folk musician accompany them. The next second, the prelude of an electric guitar sounded. And the next second, oh, F***CK. Chapter 138. The sharp but not ear-piercing sound of the electric guitar instantly captured everyone's ears. Everyone was surprised by the power of the accompaniment, but the sound of the electric guitar did not overwhelm the main theme. When the clear, high-pitched vocal sounded, Everyone's attention was focused on the 7 teenagers on the stage. Wow, we're here. C7's vocal was unique and outstanding. Among the male groups in the country, they were one of the top vocalists. Many netizens in the live stream sighed with emotion. Wow, this guy's singing is good. I'm not exaggerating, but I'm getting goosebumps. The long-awaited stage of the lead vocalist. Sob, 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 sob. Following that was the main song. After singing a few lines, the crowd then realized that if there was no song accompaniment and only a live performance, wouldn't all members of C7 be on mic? Without the mic on, it was equivalent to lip-syncing. The singer only needed to lip-sync. With the mic half on, there was the original singer in the accompaniment. The singer could conserve energy when singing. If they were out of breath or couldn't hit the high notes while dancing, the backing notes in the accompaniment could make up for the gaps and missing vocals. However, there was no original vocal accompaniment on C7's stage today. There was no harmony at all, but these 7 boys were all able to hold their own. As the formation changed, C7's dancers took turns to stand in the center position. Everyone had a part in the center position in front of the camera. Everyone's dance moves were clean and neat, and their focus on the camera was accurate. Even the management of their expressions was impeccable. Everybody focus on us. During the intense chorus, the electric guitar accompaniment was still superb and stable. The perfect balance of low, mid, and high frequencies immersed the audience in the atmosphere of the song. The rapper's beatbox and the lead vocalist's harmonies also joined in. At the same time, the 7 teenagers not only completed their singing and dancing in the high-intensity dance, but they also barely breathed. The fans in the live stream were so excited that they were about to lose their minds. It's our C7. Amazing, this small group is really the best in the country for idols. It's not just the best, it's the ceiling. They can perform so well on such a simple stage with all the mics on. Let's go, kids. Zai Zai, fly bravely. We will follow you forever. F***CK. Was the accompaniment really played by Xiangyi alone? That's amazing. She didn't even look at the score. The rapper's rap set the entire venue ablaze. The scene was completely hyped up. This song brought about too many surprises. When the last melody ended, just like how they had trained countless times, the 7 of them were in position. His chest heaved up and down violently. It was hard to tell whether he was exhausted or excited. Sweat dripped down from their cheeks, but no one bothered to wipe it off. Even the cameraman couldn't help but take a long close-up of them. A few seconds later, the 7 teenagers held hands and bowed towards the camera. They said in unison, "Thank you, everyone." What followed was an overwhelming amount of screams, cheers, and whistles. Tears streaming down my cheeks. I still stubbornly believe that C7 has a team spirit. I've changed my opinion of the boy group. So they're this capable? Whether it was the audience or the live stream, everyone only had one thought at this time. This was an explosive performance. Chapter 139. The lights in the room were turned on again, but the 7 teenagers in the crowd were the most dazzling and brilliant existences in the room. However, when the camera inadvertently cut to Xiangyi, it happened to capture the girl looking at Jiangchun and the others with a faint smile. Her fair and slender fingers were rubbed red by the strings, and 2 of her fingertips were even scratched. However, her gaze was still calm and peaceful, so gentle that it made one's heart flutter. Sensing that the cameraman was filming her, she gestured for the cameraman to take pictures of the boys in the boy band. Oh my God, how did the little vase's hands end up like this? Has it been too long since she played the guitar? Usually, only newcomers get scratched. Are you kidding me? How can she play so well after not playing for so long? What is she after? She doesn't want the lights or the camera. She must have taken a liking to our Chun Zai. Don't try to ride on our Chun Zai's popularity. What kind of nonsense is that? How can they perform so well without Xiangyi's accompaniment? Imagine for yourself how awkward it would be to sing and dance without any accompaniment or beat. The live stream room was in an uproar, and there were whispers of discussion at the venue. Xiangyi put down her electric guitar, lifted her skirt, and was about to leave when she was surrounded by the 7 boys. Sister, your electric guitar is god level. Can you teach me? Wow, sister, you've memorized the music score after only reading it once. What kind of photographic memory is that? Sister, why is your hand scratched? Wait here, I'll go buy you some medicine right now. A fairy's hand must not be scarred. The group of boys, the oldest of whom was less than 20 years old, were chattering away, lively and adorable. Jiang Chun was speechless. Did you guys take a course on flattery? Why are you all so good at bragging? He held it in for a long time before saying, Sister, you've worked hard. Thank you. Thank you for being gentle. Thank you for not turning back. The others straightened their expressions and bowed to Xiangyi in unison, loudly saying, Thank you, sister. Xiangyi was speechless. She really just didn't want to see her beautiful younger brother cry, so she came over to help. The manner. Li Jinyu laughed out loud when he saw Xiangyi being surrounded by the little fresh meats. Our sister, Yi, seems to be very popular with the younger brother. She also takes good care of him. Ayaya. If it were me, I would also choose the younger brother. What's so good about an old man? Bullet screen. Director, what kind of dangerous speech is this? Even the cabinet door can't block it. Shi Sui snatched Xiao Naofu back from his hand, placed the dried fish in front of the tablet, and asked Xiao Naofu, Do you want the brother or the dried fish? Xiao Naofu slammed its paw on the screen and firmly bit onto the dried fish. Roar. TSK, the younger brother can't be eaten. Only a fool would choose the younger brother. Shi Sui was very satisfied with Xiao and Naofu's choice. She lovingly stroked it a few times and tilted her head to ask Li Jinyu, What did you just say? Li Jinyu swallowed his saliva and forcibly changed the topic. Of course, a younger brother is still a younger brother. Mature men are the ones who are truly charming. In the live stream. Ha 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 ha. I'm laughing so hard. Shi Sui, you really can't be more than 10 years old. It's funny, but why do I feel like Shirindi is jealous? I know. Mommy, I've stumbled on an untimely candy again. Come and tell me loudly. Untimely candy. It's true. Chapter 140. Tomato Entertainment's annual gala ended with Big Boss bragging. In just over an hour, the number of views exceeded 20 million. There were more than a dozen hot searches and countless views. Hashtag Tomato Entertainment Red Carpet Show. Hashtag Xiangyi Sister Red Dress Shark. Hashtag C7 Super Hot Mic Singing and Dancing. Hashtag and other terms rushed to the top 5 hot searches. A fashion blogger posted on Weibo, Incredible V. Hashtag Tomato Entertainment Red Carpet Show. Hashtag Here's a short review of what I think is good today. Emily was very good at handling gender-neutral coldness. Lin Jia's mermaid dress had been changed to a low-cut design. It was a little too tight, but the little Missy's figure was really good. Qin Wanyan's outfit could be described as a textbook example of a fairy. From the dress to the makeup, it was impeccable. Unfortunately, she had met Xiangyi. If Mo Li's face was classy, then Xiangyi's was obviously classy. I watched the scene of her smiling at the camera dozens of times. I was really impressed by the beauty and temperament of this beautiful sister. This red dress with spaghetti straps was an old style from last year. When it was first released, many people complained that it was in the style of a karaoke girl. But today, Xiangyi gave a new interpretation. People are not defined by clothes, but by people. This Weibo post had more than 5,000 comments and more than 10,000 likes. There are also well-known music critics who posted on Weibo, E.G. Gray Turtle Dove V. Many netizens have it at me to comment on C7's live broadcast today. I don't know much about the idol industry, but I have to admit that I have a rigid understanding of this industry. After watching the live broadcast today, I changed my view. The singing and dancing skills of these children are really good, especially the lead singer's singing. I believe that even if they debut as singers, they will have a place in the music industry. But what amazed me the most was at Xiangyi's electric guitar. Last time, your Sanxian was so amazing that my father was influenced by you and received Western medicine treatment. His condition has improved, and he listens to your impromptu performance several times a day. I don't know much about folk music, but I might be considered an expert when it comes to pop music. Your electric guitar accompaniment is bright and pleasant to the ear, and your playing skills are skillful. Push, vibrato, skip, as well as the climax, hit, hook, and slide are done smoothly and freely. In terms of atmosphere rendering, you have reached the realm of perfection. You can be called a master. There are more than 10,000 comments on this Weibo post, but there was a lot of controversy. Wow, culture people's compliments are so different. Our sister E is so capable. How much did you get paid to brag like this? Last time, you praised her Sansien to the skies, and now you're praising her electric guitar. This is F*King ridiculous. Do you think you're cultivating both magic and martial arts? She's pretty good, but she shouldn't go so far as to praise a master. A real master would laugh so hard that his teeth would fall out. But soon, a famous musician in China updated his Weibo, which was almost overgrown with weeds. La Movie. The little girl plays the electric guitar well. Her hands were itchy, so she mixed the bass. The finished product is rough. Everyone, listen to it and have fun. Attached is a 3.5-minute audio track. The spectating netizens clicked on it excitedly. Why did this melody sound so much like C7's song? It can't be, right? F*CK, it was true. And if one listened carefully, they would realize that the sound of the electric guitar was the part where Xiangyi played it. After the addition of the bass, there was a thick and rich tone, and there was more tension. In an instant, the whole song was raised to a higher level. Half an hour after the Weibo was posted, the number of comments exceeded 50,000. The entire internet was boiling over. Chapter 141. No way, right? A member of a national team is playing a boy group's dance song? What the hell? Is this person famous? I've never heard of him. Where did he come from to support the vase fairy? There's actually someone who doesn't know Old Moo? Question mark face. Have kindergarten kids started surfing the internet? Oh my god, Old Moo. The record holder for the highest album sales in China. The record holder for the most number of people attending a concert in China. Don't you think he's hot? Using hot to define Teacher Moo is really insulting. Just buy a book on the history of modern Chinese music, and you'll find that he's an immortal who occupies an entire chapter. He created a new genre, a new pattern, and a new style of stage performance. Let's put it this way, C7 is the junior, and Teacher Moo is the ancestor, got it? The appearance of a big shot was shocking enough, but he was even playing a duet with someone else. C7's popularity soared, and the title track, Focus, swept through the top 3 of the major music charts with unstoppable momentum. The self-deprecating group of fans had truly broken out of the entertainment circle. There were also more people who recognized Xiangyi's awesomeness, Sansien, electric guitar. These two contrasting musical instruments, yet in her hands, she was able to perform them to the best of her ability. It was incredible. At the manor, after watching the live broadcast, Li Jinyu was still a little unsatisfied. Sigh, the cameraman didn't even give Sister E more screen time. No, when Sister E comes back, I'm going to give her more screen time. I'm going to make her look beautiful. Shi Sui leaned lazily on the sofa, while Xiao Naofu imitated his movements. Its soft body leaned against the pillow with its little but facing up as it played with its tail wagging. At the thought of Xiangyi's imminent return, the atmosphere between the cat and man became much more harmonious. Buzz, Shi Sui's phone vibrated. He picked it up and took a look. His ink-black eyebrows suddenly rose. Little Rabbit, Senior, my little uncle asked me out for a drink. I might not be home tonight. Please take care of Xiao Naofu. Oh, degree asterisk. Oh, Shi Sui gently gritted his teeth. Taking his little niece out for a drink at night? Good. Very good. The netizens in the live streaming room noticed Shi Sui's abnormality. Huh? Is Shirindi angry? Anyway, it's visible to the naked eye. Woo, Big Brother looks so cool like this. The sense of immersion is too strong. I feel like he's going to pin me against the wall in the next second. Stop talking. I'm starting to feel fetal movement. South City, at the entrance of a private bar. This bar was opened by a friend of Xiang Feng's. It was not open to the public. Basically, only people in their circle could enter. The privacy was excellent. Xiangyi opened WeChat. Just now, All the C7 brothers had added her as a friend and even created a small group. At this time, the group was at the top of the list. She clicked on it and saw that they were sharing screenshots of their Weibo fans. As they chatted, they even started a battle of emojis. She curled her lips, returned to the message board, and made a voice call to her uncle. In a bar, Xiang Feng poured a glass of dark liquid for his third nephew, who had just returned to China, while answering a call from Xiangyi. Xiao Qi, try this 1982 red wine. Lame. Whose wine is bubbling? It's obviously cola. His sexy and gorgeous voice made one's ears go soft as soon as he opened his mouth. His burgundy shirt and tie had long been pulled to one side. The shirt was unbuttoned, accentuating his cold, fair, and attractive collarbones. Little Xiangyi, just come in, we're right here at the bar. Xiang Qi looked up and swept his sharp gaze over. Why did you call her here? He said coldly. What a bummer. Good night. Let me explain. When I say good night, it means that I've finished updating in the wee hours. The next update will be between 9 p.m. and 12 p.m. When I say good night, it'll be over. Thank you for your patience and love. Chapter 142. The atmosphere was a little tense. Xiangyi was silent for a few seconds on the other end of the phone before hanging up. Xiang Feng was anxious and scolded. Xiang Xiaoqi, how can you talk to your sister like that? Don't you know how happy she was when she heard that you were back in China? Happy? Xiang Qi raised his hand to brush away the long strands of hair on his forehead, revealing his handsome but gloomy eyes. Can't wait to see me make a fool of myself? Xiang Feng was speechless for a moment. Thinking of the ridiculous things Xiangyi had done in the past year, Xiang Feng really couldn't find the words to reprimand her. Xiang Qi was a well-known fashion designer who debuted at a young age. His designs for other brands were all on the runway of Fashion Week, and he had been preparing for his own personal show. After working hard for several years, he finally had a set of ready-made clothes called Winter Night. When he was preparing for the big show, Xiangyi wanted to show off, so she took a photo and sent it to a group of friends, which was then posted on the internet. As a result, Xiang Qi's work was plagiarized by another designer, and the show was held before Xiang Qi's. In the fashion industry, there was no way to explain things clearly. It could only be determined by the time the work was released. If Xiang Qi used the same work to hold a show, then plagiarism would become an unerasable shame in his career. However, Xiangyi didn't think she was wrong at all. Instead, she blamed Xiang Qi for holding the show too late. She just wanted to help her brother promote it, so she sent it to the group. Xiang Qi was so angry that he tore up all his ready-made clothes and manuscripts. Because he had no inspiration, he couldn't design new works, so his personal show was canceled and he was ridiculed by the fashion industry. He had been traveling around the world for the past few months. He was in a good mood when he returned home, but when he heard Xiangyi's name, he couldn't control his anger. My sister is different now. Xiang Feng tried his best to persuade Xiang Qi. If you don't believe me, ask Xiang Xiaoyu. He has the most right to speak. Those were his words. Xiang Feng said and dialed Xiang Yu's cell phone, but no one picked up. Xiang Qi looked at him coldly. Why are you being so fierce? Xiang Feng weakly changed the number of the esports base. This time, someone picked it up, and it happened to be Xiang Yu's teammate. Looking for Smog? Ahem. When he came back from filming the variety show, we showed him the replay of the part where he stroked the cat, and then he shut himself off and locked himself in the training room for a few days. His phone was turned off, and he didn't log into his social media account. After reuniting with his little sister, the high-spirited esports god who pretended to be cold and aloof was instantly petrified when he saw the video of himself burying himself in Xiao Naofu's belly, kissing and sucking like an idiot. Especially when he found out that millions of netizens had seen the video. His persona was gone, his face was gone, and so was their chance to meet on the spot. The corner of Xiang Feng's mouth twitched. Okay, then when he's not autistic anymore, have him call me back. Yes, uncle. After hanging up the phone, Xiang Feng smiled sheepishly at his third nephew. Xiao Qi, you see, this is an unavoidable factor, Xiang Qi snorted coldly. He elegantly picked up the wine glass and swirled it around. Only when he drank it did he realize that it was cola. His movements stiffened slightly, and his expression didn't change as he tasted cola. It could be said that he was very stubborn. Xiang Feng scratched his head and said, "It's really different. My little sister cooked for me, and it was delicious." Xiang Qi's eyes lit up. He suppressed his emotions and said casually, "Forget it. Let her come in." "But my little sister said she didn't want to disturb you and has already left." Xiang Qi. Chapter 143. At the manor. By the time Xiangyi returned, it was already past 9 in the evening. Through the huge floor-to-ceiling windows, she could see everything in the living room. The handsome best actor was leaning on a wrought-tan chair by the window, reading a book in his hand. The white and soft kitten was snoring on his lap, sleeping soundly. Xiangyi felt an inexplicable warmth in her heart. In fact, her brothers and family had doted on her since she was a child, but everyone was too busy to spend time with her. She had a lot of love, but she also had a long period of loneliness. During the most sensitive period of her adolescence, Xiangyi would secretly cry because no one waited for her at home after school. Later, when she thought about it, she always found it funny. But at this moment, Xiangyi suddenly felt very steady and stable. The regrets of the past had finally been made up for perfectly. So this was what it felt like to have someone waiting for you at home with a light on. Shi Sui, who was by the floor-to-ceiling windows, seemed to have sensed something. He looked up, and the golden mirror chain swayed slightly in the air with his movements. Under the soft street lights in the garden, a slender and fair girl stood foolishly in the same place. She had changed into a cotton daisy floral dress and a thin, apricot-colored knitted sweater. She looked obedient and soft. The two looked at each other for 2 seconds. The girl quickened her pace and ran straight to the villa. Shi Sui pushed his glasses up with his fingers, and the corners of his mouth curled into a happy smile. He picked up the stupid cat, Xiao Naofu, and threw it behind the trash can. Xiao Naofu opened his eyes in a daze, his face blank. "Who am I? Where am I? Huh? Xiangyi?" The little kitten jumped over the obstacle and ran to Xiangyi's side, only to find that someone was 1 step ahead of it. "Senior, I'm back." Have you had dinner?" "Not yet." "Where are you and Xiao Naofu?" Xiangyi changed her shoes at the entrance. "I suddenly feel like eating instant noodles." Instant noodles were just SOSO, but they were a magical food that one would miss after a while. "Rest for a while, I'll cook." "Huh?" Xiangyi was stunned. Shi Sui looked a little helpless. "Teacher Xiangyi, I still have some culinary skills." Xiangyi was slightly embarrassed. "I'm not doubting your ability. I'm just a little surprised." "Senior, please don't call me teacher. It sounds weird." "Then what should I call you? Pretty sister? Celestial in a bottle? Punk sister E?" Xiangyi had a bad feeling about this. "Senior, you didn't watch my live stream, did you?" Shi Sui raised her eyebrows in tacit agreement. Not only did she watch it, but she also watched it in front of millions of netizens. "Meow. Meow, meow, meow." Xiao Naofu circled around Xiangyi's feet. Xiangyi hurriedly picked up the kitten. Xiao Naofu rubbed and arched in Xiangyi's arms aggrievedly, its meaty cat paws patting the softness under Xiangyi's collarbone. It was very human-like, as if it was complaining. Shi Sui narrowed her eyes slightly, a sense of danger faintly spreading out. "What's wrong, Xiao Naofu? Are you hungry?" Xiangyi touched its belly. It was round and bulging, so it probably wasn't hungry. Xiao Naofu looked at Shi Sui with teary eyes, then buried its head in the girl's arms and whined in an aggrieved voice. "Meow." Shi Sui didn't say anything. Xiangyi gently coaxed. "You mean Senior bullied you? Don't misunderstand him. He's very, very nice." "Xiao Naofu." Its cat eyes widened in shock. Shi Sui chuckled and turned to enter the kitchen. Behind her, the girl's flattery could be heard. Look, Senior even entered the kitchen. He can take care of a cat and cook. What a godly man." Chapter 144. 10 minutes later, Xiao Naofu was nestled miserably in the luxurious 3-story cat villa, facing Xiangyi with its round butt. "I'm no longer that stupid woman's favorite little baby. I'm not happy. Angry." Unbeknownst to him, Shi Sui was the white moonlight of Xiangyi's youth, and Xiangyi was also his current fan. She had a double filter, so, of course, she would see Sure sway in whatever way she saw him. On the dining table, a pot of instant noodles with ham, eggs, and vegetables emitted a fragrant aroma, paired with 2 side dishes. In this quiet and warm night, it made one's appetite explode. Xiangni took a bite and praised, "Senior, you're the god of cooking in the instant noodles world." Xiao Naofu in the cat villa. "Boohoo, you're actually praising this stinky man. You don't know how bad he is." Sure Sui chuckled. "Little rabbit, you're quite sweet." Xiangni, don't call me by my nickname. Why don't we make an exchange?" The man slowly filled a bowl for himself. "I won't call you by your nickname, and you won't call me senior." "Then what should I call it?" "A name is fine." Xiangni was a little conflicted, but during the live broadcast, the netizens will probably think it's impolite, right? Will they? Sure Sui looked at her innocently and said patiently, "Then, what do you think it should be called?" The director calls you Daddy Sure. Or should I call you Brother Sure or Brother Sui?" Sure Sui said leisurely. "Then should I wish you a happy birth?" A happy birth was often used to congratulate people on having a boy. Xiangni's ears turned red. "That's not how you use that word, right? It sounded like Director Li had become her and Sure Sui's son." Sure Sui said calmly. "It's just a lame joke." "Oh, I see." It was indeed quite cold. In the cat villa, Xiao Naofu licked its paws in disappointment. "Stupid woman. He's deliberately taking advantage of you. There was no good man in this world." "Sob, sob, sob. Why aren't you coaxing me yet?" "You have to coax me once, no. You have to coax me twice before this who cares about you." The Xiang family did not have the rule of not talking while eating, so Xiangni naturally began chatting with Sure Sui. "Have you ever felt like crying all of a sudden? For example, when you return to an empty room and it's raining heavily on the way home, and other mothers are chasing after their children and beating them up." Sure Sui stared at her quietly and asked softly, "Are you sad because of something?" Xiangni thought that she had adjusted her emotions well, but because of Sure Sui's words, she felt a little sour at the tip of her nose. She thought she was strong enough. However, because of Xiangqi's words, they would still flee in discomfort. Because he had obtained it before, it was especially painful when he lost it. Perhaps it was because the night was too gentle, or perhaps it was because she never put up her guard against him. Xiangni unconsciously spoke her mind. "I'm hated by my brother." Sure Sui's thin lips moved slightly. He wanted to comfort her, but he realized that he did not have any experience in comforting people. "I'm just sad for a while." Xiangni smiled. "But don't you know how to coax girls?" Sure Sui's eyes were gentle. "I really don't know how to." "Oh, then you." Xiangni originally wanted to ask if he had ever dated a girlfriend, but she felt that this topic was too abrupt, so she changed her mind. "Then I'll teach you how to coax people. Here." She took out a candy and leaned over to Sure Sui. "This is an omnipotent artifact." The next second, a big warm hand covered the top of her head and gently rubbed it a few times. "Is this coaxing okay?" Chapter 145. The warm lights softened the man's chiseled face, and she was the only one in his eyes. The warmth of the man's fingers spread to her, and the air became sticky and ambiguous. Whoosh! Xiangni's milky white little ears were dyed crimson in disappointment. Her starry eyes widened in surprise, astonishment, and most of all, shyness. "Our sister E, you've worked hard today, too." Sure Sui lowered his voice and coaxed patiently. "Big brother won't hate you. He's just being difficult with you right now. Don't take it to heart, okay?" Thump, thump. Her heartbeat was astonishingly fast. Xiangni sat back in her chair and put some distance between them. She stammered, she was a mommy fan. How could she be moved?" "I'm going to check on Xiao Naofu." The girl found an excuse to leave. The man's deep eyes followed her back and stopped. In front of the cat villa, Xiangni said softly, "Xiao Naofu, are you not angry anymore? Come out and drink milk, okay?" Xiao Naofu, "I'm not listening." But its tail wagged honestly. Xiangni continued to coax. "I'll buy you a bell tomorrow, okay? Big Tiger likes it the most. It's super pretty." Xiao Naofu's ears twitched, and it turned its face. "Meow, this hoo doesn't want to walk on its own. It wants to be hugged." Xiangni understood and carried the soft white kitten out. She made some goat milk powder for it. Xiao Naofu licked a few times, then raised its chin and looked at Shui provocatively. She still likes this hoo-hoo the most. A certain actor gently snorted and said lazily, I've been hugging Xiao Naofu for too long today. My hands are a little sore. Can you give me a glass of water? His slender fingers carelessly rubbed his wrist. It was clearly a question, and there was no trace of coquettishness or coyness, but it made one's heart ache. Xiangyi, I'll go right now. Shui winked at Xiao Naofu. F*CKU. Xiao Naofu never expected that it couldn't win against a green tea, a white lotus, and would even act coquettishly. Lost. Yes. The goat milk in the bowl instantly lost its fragrance. At dawn, Xiangqi pulled open the curtains, and the faint morning light shone on his shoulders. The black robe was draped loosely over his body, and the chest was open, revealing the shape of his abdominal muscles. There were faint dark circles under his eyelids. He had stayed up all night and watched two under one roof. Although he wasn't too sure, his younger sister seemed to have returned. He wanted to confirm it himself. A trace of a smile slowly appeared on his cold and handsome face. Xiangqi dialed his uncle's number. After a while, the call connected. Xiang Feng's weak and sleepy voice came through. Third brother, I didn't even have a problem with you calling me at 2 in the morning. What are you doing so early in the morning? Xiangqi went straight to the point. I want to be on that woman's variety show. Arrange it for me. Which woman? Who do you like? If you talk to me about this, I won't be sleepy anymore. 2 under one roof. But I heard that there will be guests later. Xingshan App was a company under Xiang Feng's name, and was considered the biggest partner of 2 under one roof. Xiangqi said coldly, What kind of overbearing CEO are you? Don't you know how to cut in line? Xiang Feng, percent at *++. He took a deep breath and told himself that this was his nephew, his biological brother. Okay, I'll arrange it for you, but you have to promise me that you won't bully your sister. It's none of your business. The call was mercilessly hung up. TT, Anwan, who was already procrastinating, was now addicted to mobile games, making her already late update even worse. Good night. Chapter 146. A few days later, on Friday, when Li Jinyu returned from his run, Xiangyi's swordsmanship was almost done. He immediately went forward to serve her tea in a towel like a little maid. It could be said that he was the ultimate lackey. Xiangyi, Director Li, you really don't have to be so polite. Please don't. You could just call me Xiao Li. Li Jinyu said a few words and took out his phone to surf the web. Not long after, the garden began to echo with his goose-like voice. Chen Mian has screwed up. Li Jinyu blabbered. It's that director of Heartbeat. The netizens dug up his plan to encourage fans to raise funds and donate money to compete for the ranking of the livestream. In the end, there was an internal problem, and someone ran away with the money. We can't even catch up with them. The fans were definitely unhappy that such a thing happened. Chen Mian wanted to cover it up at first, but he underestimated the fighting power of the fans. After a night of fermenting, he successfully became the #1 trending topic. Heartbeat was only broadcast on weekends. Now, the official Weibo had issued a notice that this week's livestream had been canceled due to technical problems. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell that the show would either have to change the director or be done for. Xiangyi, the fans are the ones who suffer the most. They want to do their best for the person they like, but they're trampled on just like that. That's true. Li Jinyu sighed. His phone suddenly vibrated. He answered a few calls and said dejectedly, It's over. Is it because I'm gloating? Is this retribution from the heavens? The VIP guest we agreed on has to be changed. That VIP guest had worked with Shui before and won the Best Actress award. She had a very high status and only agreed to come on account of Shui. Li Jinyu couldn't say anything. Of course, it was mainly because he didn't dare to. It wasn't easy to change the guest at the last minute. All aspects had to be coordinated, and it also depended on whether the other party was willing to save the day. Li Jinyu made up his mind. Sister E, why don't you cook for 2 days and show off Tai Chi and swordsmanship? By the way, do you know calligraphy and talisman drawing and whatnot? Xiangyi raised her eyebrows. Why don't you let Xiao Naofu spit fire and jump in circles of fire. Or jump while spitting fire. Li Jianyu was ecstatic. Xiao Naofu can do this. What do you think? Understood. It turned out that Sister Yi also knew how to make people happy. Jokes aside, Xiangyi was still trying her best to help him, but she didn't know as many people in the industry as the cameraman and lighting technician. She checked her friend's list and asked, "Can I ask Jiang Chun?" "Huh, that's right. Jiang Chun isn't recording Heartbeat this week. His schedule should be free." I asked. Jiang Chun said he has time. So do the others from C7. Tomato Entertainment attached great importance to C7. Jiang Chun and the others had used the recording to threaten Sister Ling's attitude had changed 180 degrees, and she had helped them plan their long-term development. She didn't accept any commercial performances, and the boys were now wholeheartedly preparing their new album. However, there should be enough time for a day of variety shows. Li Jinyu looked at Xiangyi as if he was looking at a treasure. Okay, let them come. Coincidentally, Shui also came out for her morning exercise. She was dressed in black sportswear, which made her skin look even paler. What are you guys talking about? Li Jinyu excitedly said. Sister Yi invited the beautiful brothers to come on our show. Shui, huh? 7 beautiful brothers. As expected of our sister Yi, Shui's eyebrows twitched. Chapter 147. Li Jinyu lived on Weibo, Melon forums, and various gossip apps all year round, so he knew exactly what netizens were interested in. Daddy sure, think about it. The younger brother who is picking fruits looks at the camera with a shy and cute smile, asking the audience whether the fruit is sweeter or him. The younger brother who is working hard in the fields lifts the hem of his t-shirt to wipe his sweat, revealing his abs and Apollo's belt. The younger brother who is controlling the drone is so hot that he directly pours a bucket of water over his head. His clothes are wet and sticking to his young and thin body. Shui's face was indifferent. Hey, isn't he sweet? Doesn't he have abs? Doesn't he have Apollo's belt? The more Li Jinyu thought about it, the more excited he became. One is exciting enough, and there are 7 of them. F*CK. I want to transmigrate into Sister Yi's body and experience what it's like to have a harem. Xiangyi, what kind of dangerous speech is this? Okay, I'm going to discuss it with the cameraman. Li Jinyu left happily, completely unaware of a certain actor's strange behavior. Xiangyi did a few stretches and was about to take a shower when she turned around and found Shui was still standing there, as if he hadn't moved at all. Brother Shu. The man's peach blossom eyes fell on her. His eyes were deep and unfathomable. Are you close to Jiang Chun? Why would Zai suddenly ask her this? Xiangyi looked innocent. It's okay. We haven't known each other for long. To be precise, they only met at the annual meeting. Shui nodded slightly, turned around, and walked towards the living room. Xiangyi was puzzled. Aren't you exercising? Shui answered casually. Xiao Naofu ate too much. I'm taking it for a run. Xiangyi, huh? Is it the running that I understand? Poor Xiao Naofu was sleeping soundly in its soft cat bed, but it was dug out by a pair of slender hands. It blinked its cat eyes in a daze and said in a soft voice, Meow? Shui. Kittens that don't run should be neutered. Xiao Naofu. Saturday morning, 6 o'clock. The 7 teenagers in the white van set off from Tomato Entertainment's dormitory. Captain, doesn't the recording start at 9 o'clock? Jiang Chun yawned. His eyes were watery. The captain of C7, Shun Ci, said earnestly, You guys don't understand. I specially made a video clip of my sister. Her breakfast is especially delicious. The eyes of a group of boys who usually didn't have enough to eat lit up. Wow, sister knows how to cook? How outstanding. Is there anything I can't do? Big sister must be a little fairy who has descended to the mortal world to undergo a tribulation. Jiang Chun was speechless. You haven't even seen elder sister. Why are you already bragging? Did you guys secretly learn to bootlick behind my back again? But big sister is making breakfast for so many of us. Isn't it very tiring? Someone said weakly, and the boys all fell silent. A few seconds later, Jiang Chun raised his hand and said, We can each take 1 bite. 1 bowl is enough. Hearing this, Shun Si spared no effort in praising. Chun Shun, you're really a clever little devil. Everyone clap. Clap, clap, clap. The atmosphere was lively and harmonious. Jiang Chun lowered his cap, but he couldn't hide the smile on his face. The van stopped at the entrance of the manor. The 7 boys looked at the towering iron gate and exclaimed in unison. Suddenly, the sound of brakes came from behind. Everyone turned around and saw an extremely flashy red sports car. Chapter 148. Wow, I've seen this sports car in a magazine before. It's a global limited edition. The lead singer, Tian Tian, was particularly interested in cars. His throat rolled as he drooled. Whoosh, the door opened and a tall figure got out of the car. He was about 188 centimeters tall, with excellent proportions and a high waistline. Visually, his legs were 2 meters long, and he could walk on the runway at any time. His camel-colored trench coat was very stylish, with a white shirt and beige trousers underneath. From his sunglasses to his cufflinks, everything was exposed, high class. The 7 boys were dumbfounded. Shin Si was the first to react. He took the lead and bowed to the man. Greetings, senior. We're C's even. The group of younger brothers bowed, 90 degrees like frightened quails. Xiang Qi took off his sunglasses, revealing his slender phoenix eyes that curved outwards, exuding the aura of a rich playboy. He scanned the boy's attire and opened his mouth in an unfriendly manner. Your taste is worrying. C7, they felt like they were being despised, but somehow they felt like they were being despised. Jiang Chang was, after all, the most experienced member of the small group. He hesitated before carefully asking, Are you Senior Hades? Hades originally meant the king of the underworld in ancient Greek mythology, but now this name represented a legend in the Chinese fashion industry. His debut work, Alice in Wonderland, was featured in Fashion Week. He was the youngest person in history to win the Muse Award, the highest Western fashion design award. His clothing line had set a record for annual sales both offline and online. In the entertainment circle, even A-listers would fight to borrow the clothes he designed. Jiang Chun was lucky enough to wear a retro suit made by Hades himself. His fans praised him for more than a month before they stopped. Xiang Qi responded perfunctorily, a little unhappy. Are you today's guests? Why are there so many people? Shun Si explained, because Senior Tang changed his schedule at the last minute. We're here to make up the numbers, right? Okay, got it. He sounded very impatient. Shun Si asked timidly, Senior, are you a guest too? He didn't seem to have heard the program crew mention that Hades was coming. Xiang Qi sneered. What? Haven't you seen anyone who brings money into the crew? I've seen people who brought money into the production team, but I've never seen anyone as arrogant as you. Xiang Qi put on his sunglasses again and took a step forward with his long legs. It was as if he was walking on the wind, just like a model. A few boys followed behind him timidly, as if they were a big boss with a group of underlings. After walking through the door, Big Boss Xiang Qi suddenly stopped in his tracks. The lackeys were so frightened that they stopped in their tracks. Jiang Qin tugged at Shun Si's sleeve secretly. Shun Si thought, why are you pulling me? I'm scared too. Later, when it's time to eat, if anyone dares to snatch a bite from me. Pausing skillfully, Xiang Qi threatened like a demon king. You're dead meat. Understand? The lackeys nodded fervently. Not until then was Xiang Qi satisfied. He started to walk like a model again, taking the cobblestone path into the living room. He didn't even bother to ring the doorbell. He raised his chin and looked at Jiang Chun, who was the closest to him. You come and knock on the door. The top little fresh meat in the entertainment circle was clearly being ordered around. Jiang Chun pressed the doorbell, trembling with fear. He waited for a while, but no one answered. Xiang Qi frowned and pressed the doorbell several times. Jiang Chun was so scared that his face turned pale. Can you press the doorbell like this? Senior is so mean. Will he bully my sister? Chapter 149. With a soft creak, the door was pulled open. The handsome and noble movie king raised his eyebrows slightly at the group of people outside the door. Good morning. He casually greeted them in a lazy tone. You must be tired from the journey. Come in and have a seat. Slippers were prepared at the entrance. and the boys from C7 timidly entered the room to change into their slippers. They then sat in a neat row on the sofa, looking well-behaved. At the door, Xiangqi coolly asked, "Hey, where's that woman?" Shui crossed his arms and didn't say anything. He just quietly stared at Xiangqi. Under his gaze, Xiangqi silently took off his sunglasses and reluctantly called out, "Brother Sure." Ever since he was young, Xiangqi had dared to be rude in front of anyone except Shui. Shui indifferently replied with an Xiangqi couldn't wait to ask, "Where's Xiangyi? Is she a pig? Why is she still sleeping at this time?" Shui indifferently said, "Look at the time yourself." Xiangqi looked down. It was only 7 o'clock. Cough. He had waited until dawn set off. Why was he still so early? "You go sit too." After Shui finished speaking, he keenly felt that something was wrong. The little rabbit's schedule was very regular. She went to bed early and woke up early. She also had the habit of exercising in the morning. She should be up at this time. Meow. Meow meow. Xiao Naofu suddenly bit on his trousers and frantically pulled him towards Xiangyi's room. Shui's heart thumped. He didn't even have time to think about whether it was improper to enter a girl's room. He pushed open the door. Unlike the guest room's decoration, the girl's room had a warm style. The furniture was made of raw wood, and rabbit dolls could be seen everywhere. There was a row of green plants on the windowsill that were growing very well. Xiao Naofu's legs were short. It hopped a few times before jumping onto the bed and patting Xiangyi's pillow with its paws. It was sleeping on the pillow next to Xiangyi. When it woke up, it found that Xiangyi's face was abnormally red, and it felt hot to the touch. Humans were very fragile and could die from a single disease. Thinking of this possibility, Xiao Naofu was so anxious that he was about to cry. It didn't want the stupid woman to die. Shui raised her hand to feel the temperature of Xiangyi's forehead and frowned. She had a fever. "What? Sister is sick? Was it serious? Do you want to call 120? Shui was rummaging through the medical kit in the living room. The boys from C7 were extremely worried. Even Xiangqi stopped shaking his legs and licked the corner of his mouth nervously. "I called the family doctor. The doctor said to take some fever medicine first. If the illness doesn't subside, he'll come over." His calm voice calmed everyone down. Shui took out the medicine box with her slender fingers. She looked up at Xiangqi and asked, "Are you going to feed her the medicine?" It was an emergency just now, but now that he had calmed down, it didn't seem appropriate for him to feed the little rabbit with her brother around. Unfortunately, he underestimated how much Xiangqi cared about his reputation. The man crossed his long legs and raised his chin. "Who's going to feed her?" "I'm not going." They hadn't reconciled yet, and that woman hadn't sweetly called him brother to beg for forgiveness. He didn't want to pay attention to her. Shui was speechless. She wasn't at ease with the female staff of the program, so she simply entered Xiangyi's room and personally fed her the medicine. Xiangyi's consciousness was muddled from the fever. In a daze, she felt a pair of warm and strong hands on her back. A low and hoarse voice gently coaxed, "Be good, open your mouth." She obediently took the medicine. In the next second, the water stain at the corner of her mouth was wiped away by cold white fingertips. The light in front of her gradually became clear. Her line of sight focused and crashed into a pair of deep eyes. Her nasal voice was soft and nasally. "Oh, Zai." Chapter 150. A few seconds later, her muddled consciousness returned, and Xiangyi felt that her brain had been scared awake a lot. Shui smiled faintly and asked, "What did you call me? Zai?" The little girl shrank into the thin quilt guiltily. "So, this is what you meant when you said you were a mom fan last time. Huh. What did you say before that you treat me like a cat? Turns out you treat me like a cub. Meow?" Xiao Naofu poked its head over and touched Xiangyi's face with its little paw. It was still hot. It glared at Shui as if to say, "Can you treat me or not? Brother, feed Xiao Naofu something." Xiangyi's voice was sickly and weak. "By the way, are the guests here? There are shrimp dumplings I wrapped in the fridge. They can be eaten after steaming. There's fish soup in an electric pot in the kitchen. You can boil some rice noodles and put them in it. You can add the seasoning according to your taste. In addition to her fever and nasal congestion, the little girl's voice sounded much softer than usual and a little hoarse. It was like a small feather brush, faintly seductive. Her pitiful appearance made it hard for him to get angry at her. Shui sighed and said with a helpless tone, "Don't worry about these things. Sleep a little longer." He poured half a glass of water for the little girl, tucked her in, and picked up Xiao Naofu to leave. He inadvertently glanced at the cat's fur on the other pillow and narrowed his deep eyes. So this stupid cat actually slept with me at night? In the living room, Li Jinyu was chatting with the boys from C7. "Oh my, so many handsome young men. I already have a hunch that the comments section will be flooded with comments." The boys were obviously a little nervous. With the popularity of Two Under One Roof and the presence of a regular guest like Shui, they listened to Li Jinyu like a group of elementary school students. "And Hades, I've heard so much about you." In fact, Li Jinyu had rejected the guest from Xingchen app, but they had given him too much, a cover shoot for a top magazine and 2 sponsorship endorsements. This Hades didn't even charge an appearance fee. How is this a pie falling from the sky? This was God forcing a pie into his mouth. Xiangqi looked him up and down and was shocked by Li Jinyu's attire. White tank top, floral print pants, blue plastic slippers. Xiangqi, who was surrounded by exquisite models, socialites, and fashion buyers all year round, could not believe that there was such a careless human being. He shook his head. "TSK, polluting my eyes." Li Jinyu, this meant that she despised him, right? Also, why did the C7 brats look at him as if they were in the same boat? At this moment, Shui came out with Xiao Naofu in her arms. Naturally, it attracted everyone's attention. Li Jinyu hurriedly asked, "How is Sister E?" The members of C7 were all talking at once. "Is Sister feeling better? Has Sister's fever gone down? Does Sister need someone to accompany her?" Xiangqi's thin lips moved. "This group of noisy humans. She's asleep." Shui's tone was cold. "Have you all eaten breakfast?" Xiangyi prepared fish noodles and shrimp dumplings in advance. In an instant, the eyes of everyone in the room lit up. The boys from C7 were still a little shy, while Li Jinyu rubbed his hands excitedly. Xiangqi, on the other hand, had a proud and noble look on his face as he stepped out of a limited edition luxury bag. He took out a large bowl. Everyone. Chapter 151. Noticing everyone's strange looks, Xiangqi raised his chin slightly and said arrogantly, "What? Haven't you seen anyone bring their own utensils?" They had seen bowls, but never such a big bowl. Li Jinyu said awkwardly, "Hades, you really don't care about trifles." He thought that since Hades was a fashion designer, he could be considered an artist. It was normal for him to have some strange hobbies. "Fisk," Xiangqi was disdainful. "It's just a bowl. What's the big deal? Hashtag as long as I don't feel awkward, others will feel awkward." Hashtag in the past, eating his sister's cooking was like going to the battlefield. Xiangyu and Xiangfeng used to bring pots to battle. That was called a bloody storm. The shrimp dumplings and fish noodles were half finished. Li Jinyu volunteered to cook and asked the photographer, Old Li, to take some material. And the task of feeding Xiao Naofu was also won by Jiang Chun. The 7 boys surrounded the soft and milky white kitten, chattering and praising it nonstop. "This is the cat Sister raised. It's too small. It's not even as big as my palm. It's looking at me. Its eyes are like sapphires." Jiangchen looked at it eagerly. "Little kitty, can you let me touch it?" Xiao Naofu proudly stuck out its butt and refused him. "Huh, there's not even any dried fish. Don't even think about touching it." Jiangchen's reaction was, "Aw, it looks so cute when it sticks out its butt." Xiao Naofu slowly typed a question mark. 20 minutes later, breakfast was served. Opening the steamer, made of linden wood, the steam dissipated, revealing delicate shrimp dumplings one after another. The skin made of white powder was thin and transparent, as white as snow. The shrimp and bamboo shoots, wrapped inside, were faintly discernible. A shrimp dumpling was filled with 2 shrimps. It was round and cute. In the electric stew pot was a creamy and sticky fish soup. Fresh Crucian carp was lightly fried in oil and mixed with ginger and cooking wine to remove the fishy smell. Xiangyi had set the timer at 6 o'clock, so it was just right. The fish was fresh and tender, and the fish soup was delicious. Just looking at it made people salivate. Li Jinyu cooked a large bowl of rice noodles. He added fish soup and other side dishes according to his taste and seasoning. It was ready. Li Jinyu had eaten a lot of Xiangyi's cooking recently, so he was more reserved. He first put 2 steamers of shrimp dumplings in front of Jiang Chun and the others. Eat. The recording will be tough later. The group of boys remembered Xiang Qi's threat and looked at him weakly. Xiang Qi was eating prawn dumplings. With one bite, the prawns were slightly chewy and the bamboo shoots were fresh and refreshing. There was probably some lard in them, as the juices that spilled out were extremely fragrant. He paused for 2 seconds and clenched. On the surface, he was cold and pretentious. However, he was roaring loudly in his heart. Good. It's his sister. It must be his sister's doing. Xiang Qi, who was in a good mood, found the group of little brats much more pleasing to the eye. His tone was much more benevolent than before. Eat, eat, eat. I was just scaring you a bit. Did you really take it seriously? The brats. Senior, you didn't look like you were scaring us. You sounded so serious when you threatened us. Each of them carefully tasted a shrimp dumpling. Everyone opened their eyes wide and slowed down their chewing speed, as if they could enjoy the delicious taste in their mouths for a while longer. Sob. Someone choked with sobs, and the eyes of the boys turned red. Li Jinyu was shocked. What's wrong with you guys? Are you crying because it's delicious? Chapter 152. It's really delicious. Boo-hoo. I thought I wouldn't be able to eat it. I suddenly miss my mother. Speaking of their mother, the atmosphere of the table became even more depressing, even a little sad. Li Jinyu was confused. You guys. Daddy, sure. How do we coax them? He was a big man, and coaxing a little girl was fine, but how could he coax a little boy? Sure Sui didn't bat an eyelid as she scooped a bowl of rice noodles for each of them and poured the fish soup over it. This frightened the children, and they all stood up to receive it with both hands, wishing they could give Sure Sui a 90-degree bow on the spot. With the rice noodles, none of them ate the shrimp dumplings. They silently ate the rice noodles and drank a mouthful of the warm and fresh fish soup. They were so obedient that it made one's heart ache. They were the kind of children who didn't dare to eat too much even when they were guests at their relatives' houses. Li Jinyu felt a little sad. It was said that only children who knew how to cry would get to eat candy. These obedient children were probably suffering. Hey, don't be shy. Eat more. There's enough. Sister, he made a lot of shrimp dumplings, Li Jinyu persuaded. C7 agreed, but they still buried their heads in the soup. Sure Sui said gently, today we have to record farm work and will consume a lot of calories. It's okay to eat more. A sneer suddenly sounded. Xiang Qi put down his chopsticks and said in the tone of a group boss, Eat. Eat for me. No one is allowed to leave until we finish eating. Everyone. Jiang Chun trembled and subconsciously shrank behind Li Jinyu, who was closest to him. Li Jinyu, who was easily frightened, almost dropped his bowl. He coughed. Hi. I see. The children are still young. Don't scare them. What did you call me? Li Jinyu was anxious. I have a big mouth. My English is plastic. I'm wrong. I see. Oh, no, Hades. Xiang Qi was furious. His name was so Western, high and mighty, yet he was called Hai Dai Si. Seeing that the man was about to roar, Sure Sui stopped him with one sentence. Xiangyi is sleeping. These words seemed to have brought Mo Li along with them, instantly shutting Xiang Qi up. He inhaled and exhaled several times before calming down. Grinding his teeth, he said, Do you know how many models have starved themselves to death in pursuit of a size 0 figure? How many people are suffering from anorexia? Besides, all of you are eating so little. Will you have the strength to work later? The boys were all scared silly. Xiang Qi pushed a few baskets of shrimp dumplings over and said fiercely, Open your mouth and eat. If you dare to waste it, you're dead. The next second, Jiang Chun and the others picked up their chopsticks and shoveled rice into their mouths. Sob, sob, so eating is such a blissful thing. After the meal, Jiang Chun patted his belly contentedly. The corners of his mouth curled up. The others had the same reaction as him. They were extremely satisfied. Li Jinyu saw that it was about time. All right, everyone get ready. We're about to start the live broadcast. At 9 o'clock, the live broadcast of Two Under One Roof started on time. Li Jinyu started from the garden outside the house and slowly moved to the huge floor-to-ceiling window. Through the transparent glass, the 7 teenagers greeted everyone with a smile. Hello everyone, we're C7. The camera moved to Xiangqi. He glanced at the camera and said in a lazy and gorgeous voice, "Introduce yourself? I'm Haidai, Hades." The 7C's members held back their laughter. Sure Sui chuckled. Li Jinyu was much more excessive. In an instant, his goofy laughter echoed in the live broadcast. Ha 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 ha. Chapter 153. The comment section of the stream exploded. Wow, the C7 brothers are in this episode. Who is this long-legged brother? I want all his information in 1 minute. 7 brothers and 1 elder brother, plus the cultured scum Shuringdi. Sure enough, one could see all kinds of miracles after living for so long. Let me explain. The long-legged brother is the famous fashion designer Hades. He's extremely talented and has won countless awards. Don't be fooled by his young age. His status in the fashion industry could be described as highly respected. What the hell is with Kelp? Hades must have a bad mouth. The director is poisonous. Whenever he laughs, I can't help but laugh along with him in front of the screen. Xiangqi gave Li Jinyu a cold look. Only then did Li Jinyu manage to stop laughing and read the narration in a serious manner. Today, Sister E, or Teacher Xiangyi, has a fever, so I'm afraid she won't be able to participate in today's recording. As soon as he finished speaking, the camera caught Xiangyi's door open. A girl in a fluffy jacket was rummaging through the storage cabinet in the living room. "Sister, what are you looking for?" "I'll help you." Jiang Chun was the first to rush over. The other members of C7 did not back down and gathered around her. Sure Sui, Xiangqi, the fans in the stream, did the Xiang actress cast a spell on these brothers? Why are they all so nice to her? Wow, Sister looks so soft in this outfit. There are 2 rabbit ears on the hat. Even a girl like me would be tempted, let alone the brothers. What I just see? Is it a needle? No, I have a phobia of sharp objects. Is she crazy? Doesn't she care about the audience's feelings? At this moment, the cameraman entered the living room and zoomed in. Xiangyi took out a golden needle from a wooden box and began to disinfect it. Li Jinyu gulped. "Sister E, this isn't an acupuncture needle, is it?" "Yeah, I'll give myself 2 needles so I'll heal faster." Li Jinyu. The netizens in the stream? Is this the legendary saying that I'll stab myself when I'm ruthless? Is she crazy? Acupuncture isn't something you can mess around with. It has to be done at the exact acupoint for it to be effective. Sister Yi's nasal voice is so cute. My focus seems to be different from yours. Seeing that Xiangyi was really going to perform acupuncture on him, Li Jinyu hurriedly dissuaded her. "Sister E, even if you know how to perform acupuncture, you're sick now. What if your hands tremble and you perform acupuncture on the wrong acupoint?" Before he could finish speaking, the young girl's hand lifted the needles and firmly inserted them into the He-Gu and Tsuchi acupoints on his arms and hands. She gently twisted the needles and pulled them out. Calmly, she tilted her head and looked at him. "Ichem, what did you say?" Li Jinyu was shocked. The netizens in the live stream were also shocked. That's it? Why do I feel like she's faking it? She doesn't have to pretend like she knows medicine. What's the point of stabbing her so quickly? What a joke. The doctors in the Chinese medicine hall downstairs even have to leave needles after acupuncture. I don't think the Xiang actress even knows what it means to leave needles. Jiang Chun, on the other hand, had a charming trust in Xiangyi. He asked curiously, "Sister, are you a Chinese medicine practitioner?" "Yeah." Xiangyi smiled. "I'm going to cook some medicinal cuisine. If there's any soup you guys want to drink, I'll make in advance." The boy's eyes lit up. There was still lunch after breakfast. What kind of carefree life was this? However, the live stream started arguing because of Xiangyi's words. Chapter 154. Admit that she's a Chinese medicine practitioner? She doesn't even need to think of a script to lie these days. Graduates of Chinese medicine schools wouldn't dare to call themselves Chinese medicine practitioners if they didn't get a medical certificate. Xiang, you're so full of yourself. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. My best friend is complaining about Xiangyi, saying that she's not as pretentious as Zhuang Zhou's sister. The female lead drama has been quite popular recently. I have a bold guess. Is the vase fairy trying to emulate the female lead drama and become an all-rounder? A man who is never content is like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. She's quite talented in music. Isn't it good to focus on what she's good at? Why does she have to be so pretentious? It's annoying to watch. There were many sarcastic comments in the comments. Xiangyi's popularity with the public was extremely poor, and many people had developed a habit of criticizing her for the sake of criticizing her. Even though she had performed well in Two Under One Roof, everyone chose to turn a blind eye or continue to criticize her from a different angle. As long as they were strong enough, they could find a bunch of flaws, even if they were saints. However, they had underestimated the number of Xiangyi's fans. Someone immediately jumped out to refute. Take out a needle and try it, see if it will bleed. Keeping the needle is an acupuncture technique, but not keeping the needle is also an acupuncture technique. Okay. Some people must be blind. Can't they tell when she's so skilled in acupuncture? My whole family is watching the live stream together. My grandfather is a Chinese medicine practitioner. He said that even if Sister E doesn't have a medical certificate, she at least has medical skills. The comments were ripping each other apart, but in reality, things were very harmonious. Acupuncture treatment for fever was fast to begin with, and Xiangyi took the fever medicine that Sure Sui fed her. Under the two-pronged treatment, her condition improved a lot. The boys from C7 looked at her in unison, waiting for her to assign them work. Xiangqi stuck his hands in his pockets, glancing at her from time to time under his sunglasses. Go pick some jasmine flower buds. You two go chop firewood. Remember to wear gloves. You four go to Little Rabbit Farm to collect carrots. The girl's voice was soft, and her logic was clear, ensuring that everyone had something to do and wouldn't be too tired. The boys set off energetically. Xiangqi said impatiently, "Hey, what are the two of us doing?" He pointed at himself and Sure Sui, but his fierce look made it seem as if he was going to give Xiangyi the middle finger in the next second. Some people were gloating in the comments. Hades must hate the pretentious girl because of his attitude towards her. Seeing her third brother after so long, Xiangyi's emotions stirred. She sniffled and whispered, "What do you want to do? I'll listen to you." The production team. Netizens. Is the poser trying to curry favor with Hades? Looks like only Hades' overbearing arrogance can subdue her. However, to everyone's surprise, the famous international designer fiercely picked up the tissue box, pulled out a few tissues, and pressed them on Xiangyi's nose. Her face was small, and his palm was big, so it covered almost half of the little girl's face. "What are you waiting for? Blow your nose." Xiangyi's expression was blank, but she subconsciously did as she was told. Xiangqi yelled at her, "Use more strength." The little girl's slender body trembled. The millions of viewers in the live broadcast room witnessed this incredible scene with their own eyes. Xiangqi threw away the used tissues, pulled out a clean one, and wiped her nose before saying in disgust, So dirty." Chapter 155. Everyone. Why did you wipe it if you thought it was dirty? Xiangyi stared at her brother in a daze. She actually wasn't that strong. She would always feel like crying over the trivial matters between her family members. It was only in this world where she had no family to rely on that she became stronger little by little. From Xiangqi's perspective, he saw the tip of his sister's nose turn red. He frowned slightly, probably because he had used too much strength and accidentally rubbed it. When he looked up, he found that his younger sister's eyes were red and filled with tears. Xiangqi panicked. "Don't cry." The little girl's ears on her jacket drooped, and the mist in her eyes wouldn't fall, wetting her feather-like eyelashes. A pair of bony hands suddenly grabbed her bunny ears and turned her shoulders so that her back was facing the photographer's camera. Silent gentleness and consideration. Sure Sui's eyes were thin as she glanced at Xiangqi. "Fishing? Are you going?" Behind the manor, there was a medium-sized pond. Last year, Uncle Wong had brought people here to release the fish seedlings, which should have fattened up quite a bit by now. Fishing, fishing, fishing. Xiangqi gave a perfunctory reply, but his heart was still worried about his sister. He wanted to coax Xiangyi, but the moment he opened his mouth, his words were vicious. Hey, I'm telling you, if you dare to cry, I won't wipe your tears. It could be said that he was very fierce, the netizens in the stream. I don't even know how to retort. I used to think Hades was a sexy and wanton evildoer, a romantic and sensual genius. Why is he so silly in real life? I don't understand this pretentious guy's brain. What's there to cry about? Why is he acting like a white lotus? So pretentious. Why do I feel like Hades is a bit arrogant? For example, he seems to be threatening the C7 kids to eat, but in fact, he can tell that they don't dare to eat. Another example is his attitude towards Sister E, and his tone is fierce. But if he really hates Sister E, why would he wipe her nose? Xiangyi took some time to adjust her mood. After calming down, she went into the kitchen to cook the medicinal cuisine. Seeing the girl put a few Chinese herbs into the casserole, the live broadcast room mocked her again. By the side of the pond, the weeping willows swayed gently, and a few creepers and roses bloomed just right. The air was filled with a faint fragrance, and the sound of insects spread between the branches. Lotus leaves had just emerged from the water. The scenery was picturesque, but the two people fishing by the shore were even more stunning than a painting. In the live stream, my eyes are full of long legs. Saliva, saliva. Shurindi looks so relaxed when he's fishing. I feel like he's suited for this kind of leisurely life. Hey, Hades is quite well behaved. I thought he was the type who couldn't sit still. In the next second, the camera zoomed in on Xiangqi's handsome face. Under the cover of the fine hair on his forehead was a pair of tightly shut eyes. It was as if he had fallen asleep. Netizens, Shui, seemed to have expected this. Ripples appeared on the surface of the water. He calmly pulled back his rod and caught a plump grass carp. Time passed by slowly. In the blink of an eye, the teenagers who had gone to Little Rabbit Farm returned with newly harvested carrots in their hands. In the midst of playing around, one of them threw a shoe at his teammate and accidentally threw it onto the roof of the small kitchen. The effect of this segment was excellent. The netizens in the live stream were laughing uncontrollably, but the boys were dumbfounded. Huh, what should we do? Go back and ask Sister if she has a ladder? The few of them were chattering away when suddenly a disdainful sneer came from behind. Huh, you still need a ladder at this height? Chapter 156. Huh, that voice is... Everyone turned around to see that it was indeed Senior Hades. The man had put on his sunglasses again at some point. Just by standing there, he was more pleasing to the eye than any male model on the runway. Hello, Senior. The boys hurriedly greeted him. Xiangqi walked to a tree next to the small kitchen, took off his windbreaker, and tossed it to them. Live comments. What is Hades doing? I have a feeling there's going to be a high-energy event ahead. No way. No way. I don't believe Adonis can climb a tree. F*CK. He's really climbing. She watched as Xiangqi skillfully climbed up the tree. With a sweep of his long arms, he picked up the shoe and casually threw it on the ground. He then proudly stood on the trunk of the tree, looking like a master of martial arts who said, "It's just a piece of cake." Shui, who was standing by the pond and watching this scene, sure enough, they were a family with a talent for climbing. There was probably no tree in this world that the Xiang family couldn't climb. The boys from C7 were dumbfounded. They froze for a few seconds before reacting and applauding Xiangqi. Senior, you're so cool. Wow. As expected of Senior. Xiangqi didn't show it on his face, but his heart was full of praise. What a bunch of inexperienced brats. Live comments. Kid, do you have a lot of question marks? I don't know why. This scene reminded me of Sameo Guh. He climbs so fast. Gidge, you're wearing a custom-made shirt. Aren't you afraid of ruining it? It was almost time for dinner. The boys from C7 crowded around Xiangqi, worshipping him like a hero. Shui carried a basket full of fish and kept a distance from them. The scene was inexplicably comical. When everyone returned to the villa, they suddenly heard a scream. Immediately after, there was the sound of an axe falling to the ground. The staff hurried forward. The scene was chaotic, making it harder to figure out the situation. Get out of the way. Sui's low and cold voice carried a strong aura that allowed no one to object. She strode forward, and the people around her subconsciously made way for her. C7's captain, Shun Ci, was half kneeling on the ground, his left hand supporting his right arm. His face was pale, large beads of sweat rolled down his face, without a trace of blood. "Don't move around," Sui reminded Shun Ci, then said calmly, "Call the ambulance immediately." Li Jinyu said worriedly, "But it will take a while for the nearest hospital to get here. After all, the manor was located in the suburbs of the suburbs. Call first. Also, get the car ready, just in case." The fans of Caspian 7 in the live broadcast room exploded. Our brother is so pitiful. How can we let our brother work? Zai is still a child. What did he do wrong to be tortured like this? I'm going to cry to death. Our brother has an old injury. Why didn't Xiangyi come and chop the firewood herself and get her brother to do it? Go to hell. Go to hell. Hee hee. I just want to send a message to the female star Xiang. Have a good trip. Candle. Candle. The scene was carried out in an orderly manner according to Sui's instructions. Sui suddenly thought of something and looked at Xiang Qi. Go call Xiangyi over. The hostility in the live comments became even more turbulent. Sui, F***CK your mother. Are you going to kill our brother before you're satisfied? I'm saying this. If anything happens to our Zai today, everyone here will be the murderer. Chapter 157. The fans were so concerned that it was inevitable that there would be some irrational comments. However, it left a bad impression on the other netizens. Are some fans worried about Shun Ci or cursing him? There are no external injuries and no blood. It's most likely a cramp, dislocation, fracture, and so on. It's not a terminal illness that can be cured, yet they keep saying that it's going to kill him. Shun Ci's fans, can't you use your brain to watch the live stream? Xiangyi is the only one in this group who knows medicine. To put it bluntly, if something really happens, she can at least give him first aid or something. But regardless of their attitude, everyone's hearts were in their throats. At this moment, Xiangyi hurried out of the kitchen with a bowl of glutinous rice noodles in her hand. She didn't even bother to wash her hands and simply rubbed it against her body. She half knelt beside Shun Ci and carefully held his right arm. She touched it cautiously and asked Shun Ci how he felt. Shun Ci answered truthfully. However, in the eyes of the fans, Xiangyi was an eyesore. Why are you still taking advantage of Ci at a time like this? Please, don't pretend to know when you don't know. Just F***king fix yourself. Don't try it on our brother. If I were there, I would give her 2 tight slaps. Her hands are so dirty. She doesn't deserve to touch my brother. Don't touch our brother. Get the ambulance here immediately. If it's a fracture, he'll have to undergo surgery. What's the use of traditional Chinese medicine? Xiangyi's technique was light at first, then heavy. Coupled with Shun Ci's answer, she quickly came to a conclusion. Shun Ci, don't be afraid. First of all, you're only dislocated. There won't be any life-threatening danger. Secondly, I have a professional certificate of traditional Chinese medicine, so I can help you set your bones. After a pause, she added gently, don't feel burdened. You can wait for the ambulance to come and go to the hospital for treatment. The fans were speechless. Wasn't she implying that she was very arrogant, but she didn't have to treat him? Shouldn't she be doting on our brother? Why does her tone sound so calm and even a little cold? Shun Ci endured the pain and said in a muffled voice, Sister, I believe you. His forehead was covered in cold sweat, and his lips were bitten so hard that teeth marks could be seen. He looked at Xiangyi with teary eyes, pitiful and pure. Xiang, okay, you counted 2 8 beats. Come on, 567. Go. Shun Ci subconsciously began to count the beats, a habit formed by many years of trainees. However, before he could count the full 8 beats, he heard a crack and the bone was reset. Okay, that's perfect, the girl said calmly. Everyone in the program crew. The netizens were speechless. No way, that's it. Shun Ci himself was in a daze, but the most direct feeling he had was that the pain had really been relieved. His eyes widened in shock. "Sister, are you what?" Xiangyi said casually. "It's just bone setting. Is it difficult?" Xiangyi's grandfather was a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, and most of his friends were medical experts. She had been influenced by what she saw and heard since she was a child, and Xiangyi's grandfather even consciously trained her to diagnose and prescribe prescriptions for patients. She had more than 10 years of medical experience. Later on, when she transmigrated to another world, Xiangyi's medical skills also improved, but the people she came into contact with were all big shots. In the immortal world, there were also big shots who had entered the Tao through medicine. Hence, she had always felt that she was of a very ordinary standard. The more knowledge one had, the more insignificant they would feel. Little did she know that for others, a few seconds of diagnosis and bone setting was simply a divine doctor